Start.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ari Vyas, sir. Sir, can you hear me, please, sir? Sir, my Honorable Vice Chancellor. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, please, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning,
So
sir.
I'm audible? I'm audible?
Yes, sir. Yes. Very much, sir.
Okay,
audible,
fine.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome,
Welcome, sir.
good morning.
Yes. And
Energy.
Dr. Ravi Shankar, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Ravi
morning.
Shankar, sir. You are also. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Dr. Ganesh Kumar, you are also here live. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
We start, sir, this our program's today's webinar. And sir, first of all, sir, I welcome my Honorable Vice Chancellor in this today's webinar on fishery business ecosystem in India. And sir, I welcome you very much, and already because you are here and we had a discussion also. Thanks very much that you are live with us. And I also welcome our chief guest here now, Dr. Ravi Shankar, who is Director CIFT. We know very well known academicians in this area and masters and PhD both from University of Agriculture Sciences, Bangalore, sir. I very much welcome you, sir, to these programs. And I also welcome Dr. B. Ganesh Kumar. He is principal scientist who will be speaking as the lead presenter after this inaugural function, sir, in this first technical session. I also take this opportunity to welcome my colleagues, Dr. Shaktiranjan Panigaya, who is the core co-PI of this group. Sir, we have 7 groups in this Center for Agriculture Market Intelligence under NAHP-CAAST project. And one of the group is on fisheries. So Dr. Shaktiranjan Panigaya is the core co-PI with that. And I also welcome all my colleagues here, as well as the most importantly, sir, all the participants who are joining us. Now they are around maybe more than 50. But shortly they will be joining, and more than 2,500 they have already registered till yesterday evening. Sir, I have to say as PI only 2 important points, particularly for those who are joining first time us under this activity, which is a part of the Center of Agriculture Market Intelligence at our university, Anand Agriculture University, Anand. One activity, sir, this Center on Agriculture Market Intelligence was established last year under our NAHP-CAAST project. You all know about this project, and this is 3 years project, and the number of institutions are involved. We have 26 members, faculty members, staff member 25 members, and some partner institutions, more than 8 partner institutions, including IRMA, ISRO, and 3 foreign universities. And detail is given on our website. We have very good developed website, and we'll also give you this link if you want some information. Anyone, participants or you esteemed members, you can see these all things. Now you are our family member. We believe that will be in your touch. And apart from these things, sir, now we have 3 major components in this project on agriculture market intelligence, this center. One is research components, research on crops and allied sectors. Crops mean major crops, as well as allied. When we say the allied is livestock, dairy, fisheries, and food processing. This is very, very important, and IT center. We conduct research in 4 or 5 major areas. If I brief as far as the project research objective is concerned, one is price forecasting and demand supply for major crops as well as fishery and food processing and dairy. And global intelligence, for that we address the issues through rigorous research on export, import, quality issues. And then marketing, global, as well as mainly it is the domestic marketings within our country, states and others, including e-norms. And most importantly, one institutional research, all FPOs and commodity markets. These are the research areas. And equally important area is capacity building program. Capacity building program in all these areas of crops and allied sectors for various stakeholders. And out of them, because this is NAHP-CAAST project, we all know that under CAAST project, the focus is on higher education for PG students, MSc, PhD and faculty members, as well as other stakeholders like policymakers and even farmers are also there, very important. And we already are doing this activity through our price forecast for crops for farmers and policymakers. So this is this activity of 2 days webinar on this fishery business ecosystem is a part of the capacity building program under this group on fisheries. This is one thing, sir. And 2, 3 very, very important points again are there, that when we see in fisheries, because Dr. Ravi Shankar will be here, will be speaking more, and 6, 7 major speakers are there spread over 4 technical sessions. The next 2 days, who will be speaking, sharing the knowledge. The focus is on centric to marketing, trade, and policies, as well as entrepreneurship. 7 speakers, lead speakers are there, and they will be speaking in different technical sessions. So our focus is here, and most important again point is that the students, PG students, MSc, PhD, and faculty member, they have to learn many advances as well as some new areas wherein they can prepare their projects and do some work. The ultimate purpose of this project, as most of you senior people might be knowing, is that by conducting rigorous research in various areas, our focus is on market intelligence, that is trade and marketing. For MSc, PhD student, faculty member, we have to address the problem of farmers and policymakers. Policymakers and farmers, based on this rigorous research, can take informed decision for improvement of the sector as a whole. This is the purpose. But the focus is on higher education, PG students, MSc, PhD, faculty students. So all the speakers, they will have to take it as a note, and we shall also be discussing with them. The focus will be on marketing, trade, and entrepreneurship, but little towards the students, PG students, MSc, PhD, and faculty members. This was something which we were supposed to discuss here. And you know that fish is very, very important. We have high potential in production, processing, marketing. We have to reap the trade benefits. Still, it has not been realized. We all know about these things, in spite of the fact that we have high potential. That's why this topic was chosen under this group to see and to listen the expert members, sir. And with these things, sir, now again, I welcome you all esteemed members, all our participants. And now I'll request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who is also the, you can say, the president of this webinar, to address this gathering in 2 days webinar. And thereafter, we'll request our chief guest, Dr. Ravi Shankar, followed by our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Over to you, sir, my Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, one and all. Dr. Ravi Shankar ji, Director SIFA, Cochin. Then another today's speaker and panelist, Dr. Ganesh Kumar from NAM, Hyderabad. I think both of you are known to me, and I know personally both of you because of your activity of commercialization since the time of AAU BPDU when I was heading that. So today, the group of our scientists has decided the theme of the webinar is fishery business and ecosystem in India. As we all know that after having the announcement by Prime Minister, sir, regarding doubling the farmer income, Indian fisheries business inland has come in momentum in Gujarat state. Of course, some good talking point has been given to me regarding the history of the Gujarat and what is the right now scenario of Gujarat is with me. Of course, both learner speaker is available of it, but for the benefit of the other student who have joined this, I would like to say that Gujarat has a wide range of marine and inland aquatic resources, almost 1,600 kilometer of the coastal area, and about 20% of the total nation's area belongs to Gujarat for marine fishing, and about 46% of the area of the Western India. I can say that about 50,000, more than 50,000 fishermen families are in this business in Saurashtra up to Bhavnagar to Jamnagar area, coastal area, and number of the marine fish production is also increasing day by day. Government is also concentrating on the fish business. I can say that Saurashtra Jhinga is very famous in Japan and so many parts of the world. So export business is also there from the Gujarat, especially from the Veraval. And I will be happy to share that we have a center and a college, both in Veraval, Center of ICR, which is under Dr. Ravi Shankar ji. He is well aware of it. He is well aware of Gujarat also. So he will tell more about the brackish water and marine fish business. But I would like to highlight few points regarding our inland fishing. I can say that freshwater fishing is now a requirement of the farming community also to have some extra income. And in that, I can say that, of course, Gujarat is mainly working on Jayanti Rahu cultures only in the middle Gujarat, where our university is situated. We are mainly doing it, but we need to promote integrated fish farming. And I can say the polyculture practices in our middle Gujarat area. Second thing is fishermen during off season of fishing, they can also get engaged with some agricultural activity. So they have a dual chance to have their more income. And that is the motive of our Gujarat state and also of the country, that by in next 2 years, we have to see that almost all farmers can have their higher income, better income compared to that. And I can say that in this area, there are a few constraints also, that local fishermen are in a not an united way they are working. They need to have some APMC supports for inland fishing. I'm talking about the inland fishing where we don't have the societies. So now we are asking the fishermen or the people who are having the management of the village ponds, let them be gathered, take the support from the APMC of the district, and then they can go ahead. But the main need is to establishment of the laboratories for the fish disease diagnosis at APMCs in Gujarat. That we are going to propose to the government also as a vision of our university, that if we can provide that facility, because we know that in this right now, world is suffering from the viral disease COVID-19, and people are blaming that, okay, it has been transmitted from some non-vegetarian food initially. So such way, we have to be very cautious about the fish diseases, and then only we should promote inland fishing. So in fish diseases, we know that Vibrio, cholera, and I can say some of the other diseases. For that diagnosis, the fishermen required a support, and that support can only be extended by the government. Same way, they need the facility of the storage, cold chains, and refrigerated one, because in our middle Gujarat we have many ponds. Almost every village pond they are leasing to the fishermen to do some inland fishing activity, because fish is now coming up as one of the very important food. Of course, earlier it was in Bengal and Kerala as a important food, but now Gujarat also slowly and slowly people are started using fish in a food. So these are some facilities I think we required from government side, and with that facility, the fishing business will be definitely increasing in Gujarat state. And I can say that subsidies are also required, because fishermen has a very limited period to earn, and rest of the period of the year they have how they have to survive is a very important thing for them. So they need the subsidies for generator, cables, fishing nets, even some of the aeration facility, etc. they need. And such policies are coming up in Gujarat and also nationally. I think both the friend will tell you more in detail about what type of subsidies government is extending to the fishermen. So with these few points, I would like to remember few things that Dr. Pundir, I will ask that whoever is interested in fish business, they must send once to Dr. Ravi Shankarji at Cochin.
Okay.
I have seen their activity. Wonderful work is going on at Cochin. And I can say that I have first time seen that technologies which is pertaining to the fish is transferred to the societies and fishermen. And I can say that that activity from this particular project of NAHEP, you can also visit that facility one, because in your project, fish is one of the business which you have to study. So with these few words, I welcome you again, and thanks for joining with us, both the speaker, in our webinar. And I'll be with you. Of course, I'm in the office, so some work will be going on. Parallelly, I may not be available on video full time, but I will be hearing you, all of you. And Dr. Pundir and Dr. Sakti Ranjan, I wish you all the best for this 2-day seminar. And I'm sure that after the speech of all the learned speaker and all the resource person, our student and faculty will be enriched with the knowledge of the fishing business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir,
Thank you,
very
sir.
much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
And I take this opportunity to thank you, sir, once again on behalf of all of us, this whole team, sir. And now I think Dr. Shakti will directly now invite our chief guest, Dr. Ravi Shankar. Shakti, you want to say something before
Right, sir.
that? Yeah,
Right, sir.
please.
Right.
Shakti, over to you, Shakti.
Very good morning, all and all present here. Actually, uh, yeah, the world is covered with 79% of the water resources. If you target the food security and nutritional security of the country or as a whole, then ultimately you cannot ignore the fish. But unfortunately, fish is always be underrated. When we are seeing something untidy, unhygienic, then you just call it just like a fishy. And another part of the country, particularly in Odisha, I observed that when you go for a any examinations, any good work, then ultimately we taste the dahi and see the fish. That gives the pious and the prosperity or the success at a whole. When in my management career, my teacher always told me that the best manager is identified who sell the rotten fish. The fish has different views in the different perspectives, and I and my team on the under the guidance of the Dr. R.S. Pundis sir, we decided that one thing has been missing link, that is the market.
across the country also.
Fish is a
And
very
they have
perishable product, better market that can be safeguard the stakeholders. In this few point, I welcome Dr. Ravi Shankar sir, Director ICR CIFT, to highlight more on these sectors by who is the security, the strength, the confidence that the stakeholders to do business and to come to this business for better career, or better prosperity, better revenues. I welcome sir Dr. Ravi Shankar sir to give some highlight on these sectors. Thank you, sir.
Good morning to everybody. Hope I'm audible.
Right, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yeah, I think the Vice Chancellor's mic is on.
Yes, we will ask.
I don't know whether
Yes,
I'm okay. Yeah.
yes, sir. Go ahead, please, sir.
Yeah. So good morning and most honorable Vice Chancellor and our great friend Dr. Vyas Sahab. And nice to see Ganesh, my friend. So, by looking at him, that reduced my pressure to speak on fisheries. And Dr. Pundir and Dr. Panigrahi, all the faculty, all the students, all the delegates who have joined today. Warm good morning to everybody from Cochin, CIFT. Once again, first let me recall my association with your Honorable Vice Chancellor. Vyas Saab, I know him for many, many years. We started our journey in the World Bank funded NAHEP project on incubation. So I can't forget those days with Dr. Vyas Saab. And I am sure he has come here also, and we had continuous association. I tell you, those days were, I just cannot forget. When we were talking of, business, incubation, many times what happens is all the technologies, what we are doing, in the institutions, in R&D institutes, or in the, universities, or in the colleges, a lot of research work is going on. We have developed a lot of technology, but we always found that somewhere the dissemination or this technology was not reaching to the end users. Okay. But we always thought our technology is very good, very robust. But many times we felt the technology is not ready for the market. You are talking of first of all, let me compliment the Honorable Vice Chancellor and Dr. Pundir and Panigrahi, all those people who are associated with this, NAHEP project. And also this important topic. I am telling you, I think many of you also highlighted in the beginning, fish is a very, very important segment in our country. I tell you, you take it as food, it will address the food security, it will address the nutritional security, and it will, it is giving bread and butter to the millions of people in the country. More than 14, 15 million people are directly, indirectly attached with this sector. And so it is giving employment, it is giving livelihood security, it is giving food. Now, fish is not any food anymore. It is more of a medicine now. Okay.
Right.
People are talking fish is, having a lot of pharma, nutraceutical properties, which, of course, Gujarat has come a long way. When I was in Gujarat, most of them are vegetarian. So most of the fish was exported. But now I know Gujarati started eating fish. So that is a good sign. And always I keep telling, somewhere we should copy the the egg, how they did, the promotion of egg and promotion of other products. I think fish has to take off to that stage. We all know fish is the most nutritious and easily digestible, a complete food. We all agree that. Okay, I think it is catching up, as Dr. Pundir said, Panigrahi said. It was only, if you see fisheries as a whole, it was very much established in the along the coast because of the export industry. And also, people in the coastal region are already aware about the importance of fish. Whether it is, you see Goa, Kerala, 99% of the people are eating fish. Whereas you go to the 99, and almost you can say 100%. Even Brahmins, if you go to Bengal or Goa, Konkanis and all that, they eat fish. Fish is a vegetarian. It is called Dalasasyam. Okay. So what's happening? But if you see over the period, even the interior states like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, everybody is picking up. And I'm very happy that Dr. Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vyas, raised a few very, very important things like, the importance given by the Gujarat in case of inland fisheries, talking about the brackish water culture. I think somewhere inland fisheries is not got even though it is contributing to 70%, but majority is from the shrimp, okay, the venomai and other things. But if you see total our production 13.4 million, so 30% is because our capture fisheries is getting stagnated, whereas the culture fisheries is going up thanks to aquaculture. And it was basically centric to Andhra Pradesh, and now it is moving. Okay, I know a lot of my friends are also into aquaculture in Gujarat. Okay, I know Dr. Vyas said about the Valsad, all those regions. So that's good. It is picking up. I think one more thing, when I gather, we talk to the industry, they still feel, I think the government of Gujarat should give little more impetus to this promoting aquaculture. I think a lot of water bodies are there still to be auctioned. I think they have to identify suitable areas for production, aquaculture especially, and promote them. I think other fisheries institutes are also coming and trying to open the center. Unfortunately, I think one center of SIBA opened in, or SIFA, I think it opened in your own university, I believe, in Anand.
Yes.
Maybe SIBA is having a center somewhere nearby in Punjab or somewhere. So I think somewhere. But one thing I would like to tell you, all ICR institutes will be happy to support all these initiatives. But we understand the importance. But if you see, recently Sophia released the statistics. So we are doing wonderfully well. Okay, we are second in the inland production, and we are doing top 10 in the marine total production, and so much of production is going on exports also. 7 billion is not a small, but the government of India, you see, identifying the importance of fisheries, they opened a ministry. Okay. Earlier, we were part of the animal husbandry, dairying, and fisheries. It was called as fisheries, and fisheries was only a neglected segment of the animal and dairying, animal husbandry and dairying. Now we have our own ministry. See, that is a big success of fisheries, according to me. And now, earlier it was only a department. Now we have a full-fledged minister. Honorable Giriraj Singh Ji is there, supported by 2 state ministers, the Department of Fisheries. And recently you have seen the, Prime Minister Sagar Matsya Sampada Yojana. I think Dr. Ganesh will be talking more about it. So there are a lot of areas. See, because if you're talking of sector as such, if you see the marine, okay, capture fisheries has reached a stagnation. Now I think we should be looking at deep sea fishing. And somewhere down the line, still we need to improve the cold chain facility. The infrastructure has to be strengthened, both in marine and inland fisheries. And one thing which I would like to highlight is the post-harvest losses. I think that is really something which we have to address it. When I'm talking, fish is a highly nutritious one. Every part of fish is useful. You take head, you take skin, you take the bone. All the a lot of nutraceutical products can be made. Okay, the calcium from fish bone, it is more bioavailable than any other calcium sandos or whatever you eat. Okay, and all your lifestyle diseases, what we are talking, whether it is diabetic, whether it is arthritis, whether it is any problem, you see fish as a solution for this. When I say fish, means all aquatic products. So a lot of nutraceutical products, like institutes like CAFT has been doing wonderful work in that. And all our institutes, whether it is freshwater in Bhubaneswar, brackish water in Chennai, marine in Cochin, the cold water, huge resources. Dr. Vyas was mentioning about the resources in Gujarat. But if you see across the country, we are not tapping the reservoir fisheries. I'll tell you, the production in reservoir is dismal compared to many other countries. So somewhere, we need to optimize the fishing, harvest technologies. And also maybe we need to improve the craft, the gear. We need a good quality seed, feed. Of course, a lot of work is going on, but somewhere we have to improve all this efficiency. We need to talk. I think all this, the central government schemes are addressing all this. Other day, we had a seminar on exclusively on inland fisheries. The joint secretary was talking about the schemes of the government. Everywhere, I think they're touching, giving seed, proper quality seed, the infrastructure, cold chain, and also improving the vessels, okay, for augmenting the deep sea resources. And the seaweed, I think Gujarat is, your CMCRI in Bhavnagar has done a lot of work. But Prime Minister's pet program on seaweed, we have also done a lot of products. So seaweed is a highly nutritious, one thing which we can promote it more. We are not tapping to the potential, okay? And when you're talking marketing, still, fisheries is a livelihood sector in the country, okay? A lot of, problems are there. Still, the fishermen and the fish farmers are not getting the value they deserve. Somewhere down the line, the traders and the middlemen are exploiting actually the fishermen, okay? So I think we need to, understand this more complex. Fish is a very complex subject, and fish is again a state subject. That is another problem. The central government can, implement or suggest a lot of schemes, but at the end of the day, the states have to implement. I think Kerala, I would like to tell as a model. They have brought a lot of, again, I'm talking about the marine fisheries. A lot of issues about the conservation, sustainability of the resources. Okay, many resources are overexploited. Okay, at the same time, whatever we are caught, we are not using properly. The complete utilization of the catch is very, very important, because we are the post-harvest loss, even if it is 15%, it is not to be encouraged for a country like India. When we have exploding population, many people are undernourished, malnourished. Okay, so fish, is a solution for all this. So we must utilize all this. We must not, reduce the post-harvest losses and also sustain our resources. Okay, even when I'm telling, even in freshwater, a lot of things are going on. So I think I'll not talk more. I think that is enough. So I think my other speakers, I think I'm sure all of you would have, and I'm also talking about when you're talking of business incubation, promoting different areas of business. It is not only culture. Everywhere, it is not only the main culture I'm talking. There's a lot of support services, okay, providing seed, feed, the cold chain facility, the logistic facility. Government is talking of doubling the production. Government is talking of doubling the exports. So there is a huge avenue. And business incubation, which Dr. Vyas started, we all started. We are very, very successful. I'm happy to tell you, Dr. Vyas, I think nearly 172 companies in the past 5-6 years, they have graduated from our incubation center. Fantastic. So as the Honorable Vice Chancellor said, Dr. Pundir, you are most welcome to bring your students, any small entrepreneur, the startup companies to any of our ICR institutes, okay? And NAM is again handholding all these people, they have a TBI, they have also doing a lot of work. So it's not my JCAFT alone. My whole ICR family is there to support the fisheries enterprise. And I'm telling you, nobody will have any regrets. Fisheries is going to be the sunrise sector of the country. There's going to be a huge potential in every spheres of fisheries activity. And we will be very happy to support all of you. And once again, I must thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor for giving this opportunity to share a few of my thoughts with you. And I must compliment you for taking a best topic on today, because a lot of webinars are going on. But fisheries, according to me, is the top on the list. Okay. So I would really support and compliment and congratulate all of you. And once again, best wishes to Dr. Vyas and his team for doing a wonderful job. And we are there always to support any of this activity. Thanks for the opportunity, and nice to see my friend Ganesh. Okay. Good day. I wish the webinar all success. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your chief guest remark. No doubt, numbers of challenges are there. Still, we are very much optimistic, and definitely we will check out all the challenges, or identify all the challenges within 2 days of the webinar. And on these few words, I welcome Vinay to give the closing remark of the inauguration sections, and after that, we will welcome Ganesh Kumar sir for his first lectures on the how COVID impact on the fish marketing.
So good morning. It gives me a great pleasure in proposing vote of thanks for the inaugural function on fishery business ecosystem in India. The first and foremost, I would like to express a deep sense of gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ravishankar CN, Director ICR, CAFT Cochin, for very graciously consulted to participate in today's important webinar and delivering his remark on current scenario. And I would also like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.V. Vyas, for offering his felicitation on this important day. His guidance and leadership always motivated us to conduct such kind of events successfully. Thank you so much, sir. My thanks also go to the dignitaries present in the important webinar, Dr. R.C. Agarwal, DDG ICR, New Delhi, Dr. Prabhat Kumar, National Coordinator, NAHEP-CAAST, ICR, New Delhi, Dr. R.S. Pundir, PA of this project from Anand Agriculture University, Dr. Shakti Ranjan, Core Co-PA of this project from Anand Agriculture University, Dr. Ganesh Kumar, Principal Scientist, ICR, NAM. Thank you so much, sir. A special word of thanks and praise to all the participants who attended in the inaugural function of this important webinar. I strongly believe the webinar will be eye-opener and you'll take home something desirable knowledge from the event. Finally, I would like to place on record my gratitude to all the members of NAHEP-CAAST in Anand Agriculture University for valuable feedback and constant support in organizing webinar. A special thanks to all of you. Have a good day and be safe. Jai Hind. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Vinay. Now I welcome Dr. Ganesh Kumar, sir. He is a principal scientist working at the Agribusiness Management Division of National Academy of Agriculture Resource Management, NARM, Hyderabad since 2013. He belonged to 1999 batch of Agriculture Research Service, ARS, of ICR and is specialist in livestock economics. He has worked previously at various ICR institutes, namely Central Agriculture Research Institute, Cary, Port Blair, National Center for Agriculture Economics and Policy Research, NCAP, New Delhi, National Institute of Veterinary Epidemiology and Disease Informatics, Bangalore. His area of research interests include technology policy, markets, trades, and institutional economics in livestock, poultry, and fishery. Some of his notable works were on agriculture science and technology indicator in collaboration with the IFRI, Washington, economic impact of the foot and mouth diseases, including in collaboration with the ILRI, economic impact of avian influenza for Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, socio-economic impact of the tsunami in Andaman for the Andaman Nicobar administrations, exploring market opportunity in fishery sector for the National Fishery Development Board, Government of India, market outlook study on finger millets under the consortium of Indo-Swiss collaboration in biotechnology, estimating market efficiency of major horticultural commodities and socio-economic fisheries for the Department of the Animal Husbandry, Dairy and Fishery for Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India. He has handled more than 35 research projects so far and published about 60 research papers in referred journal, besides 150 other publications. He was the 2 times recipient of the ICR Award for outstanding team research in 2004 and 2010 in the disciplines of the animal science and social science, respectively. He underwent advanced training in social science policy research in Icarda, Syria, and Cornell University, USA. Without wasting a single minute, I welcome Dr. Ganesh Kumar, sir, to give his first expert lecture, how COVID impact on fish marketing. Ganesh Kumar, sir.
Thank you so much, Shakti Ranjan Panigrahi. And my gratitude to Anand Agriculture University, Gujarat, and your Center for Agriculture Market Intelligence, headed by Dr. R.S. Pundir, and the whole team. So, in fact, I am very much privileged personally, and NAM is very much happy in associated with this webinar. So I am trying to share my presentation. Yeah, are you able to see my slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, as we all know, and as was addressed by the Honorable Vice Chancellor, as well as the Chief Guest of today's inaugural function, and my respected colleague and very senior friend, I have a huge respect for Dr. Ravi Shankar, Director CFT Cochin, about the importance of this sector. I think now we all understand the reason from the very basic fact that Anand Agriculture University is conducting a 2 days webinar on this sector, that too on business ecosystem in fishery sector. What best you can say that the sector is gaining importance. And I also support and I endorse the view expressed by Dr. Ravi Shankar sir in telling that, yes, Government of India has thought very right to create a new ministry by the name Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy. I think you remember when the department was under Ministry of Agriculture, The name of the department itself is Department of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries. But now, when the new ministry is created, the Fisheries has taken the front position. So now the ministry is called Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry, Dairying. I think, friends, you all know how the policymakers think about the potential of this sector. And I need not say, I think you all know by this time. This is a very potential sector, a sunrise sector, a sector growing close to double-digit annual growth, and a sector always catering to the millions of people in terms of food security, nutrition security, employment opportunity, even bringing a lot of foreign exchange to the country's exchequer. And the sector is still growing. We have not yet reached anywhere closer to the optimum level, I would say. We are still growing. Last 15, 20 years, we are still growing, and we are yet to see the peak. But at this very promising situation, the country as a whole, particularly agriculture, very particularly our sector, fisheries sector, has been impacted hugely with a very big contagion, COVID-19. And you know, fishery sector involves so many people. I think Dr. Ravi Shankar was telling that there was about more than 15 million people who are engaged. Amateur estimates of labor working in this sector comes to around 1.5 million labor. Besides, the rest of the people are they are getting livelihood from them. They are the producers. But the other laborers who are helping the fish production is about 10%. It could be still underestimated. There could be many more. It has devastated the livelihood and the income prospects of all these people. Friends, in the next 40 minutes, I would just take you on a journey on what is there about this sector, to tell brief about what is there about this sector particularly, and what are the normal activities during pre-COVID situation with respect to fish marketing, to just sensitize all the audience and participants here. Then coming specifically to the COVID-19 impacts on this sector. That is how I have just planned this presentation. Friends, the aquaculture report from FAO has come out. Last week it has come out. It states that India is the second largest fish producer in the world, with a total production of around 14 million tons. And the figure could be a little more, 14.3 or 14.4 million tons, the latest figure, but it's about 14 million tons in total, of which around 2/3 comes from inland sector. We all know the nature of the two subsectors within the fisheries sector, that is marine and inland. Marine is reaching a sustainable or an unsustainable phase, and inland is in the growth phase. Inland is rising. Also, the contribution from inland is increasing day by day. Coming to the other side, out of the total production, we export around 9 to 10%. The rest 90% is domestically marketed. Export is given a lot of attention. We have a separate agency called the Marine Products Export Development Authority, which is there in Cochin only, which is under Ministry of Commerce and Industry of Government of India. So there are separate administrative setup to promote fish export since very long. Whereas the domestic marketing of fish, as was told by our respected chief guest, that it is in no one's hand. It is in fact in the private people's hand. And we know in the marketing of any commodity or any system, be it agriculture or non-agriculture, the middleman takes a huge chunk, and it is very high in case of agriculture, particularly in fishery sector. We have estimated that around 15 to 20% of the final price only reaches consumers. It is because of the nature of the domestic fish marketing system, highly inefficient, highly unregulated, and mostly controlled by private people. Not much of regulation happening across the country. Few states are advanced in trying to regulate few processes in the marketing. Maybe auction in Kerala. So like that. But whereas in other areas, it is all cartelization of the middlemen at every stage. So this is the nature of this domestic system. Friends, we know these are inland. Andhra Pradesh is the #1 state. I think you all know both freshwater aquaculture as well as the brackish water aquaculture, both for domestic market system and also for the export marketing system, Andhra Pradesh is culturing huge amount of fish in this country. On the other side, if you look at your state, the state of Gujarat is #1 in the marine fish production. Still, Gujarat is landing more and more of marine fishes. And out of all these fish landed in Gujarat, so far they are exporting maximum quantity. And they are exporting very minimal amount outside the state. Gujarat fish reaches even Delhi market. Delhi INA market, you can see Gujarat pomfret. So, but besides, if you see, mostly it is all export oriented. You can see in the city of Veravel, lot of export processing units located. So Gujarat is a leading state in terms of marine. So this is a composition of these states in fish production. Friends, we know, you know these things. This is the trend in the share between two sectors. Here you are seeing some indicative years contribution from each sector. In the bar chart, the blue shade represents marine contribution, and the yellow shade represents the inland contribution. You can see as we move now, since the last 50, 60 years, the share from inland is increasing. I told in the very first slide itself, our contribution from inland is about 65%. And here you are seeing some 10 years before situation that it is around 62. And the fish production trend, this is just to know how each subsector is growing. The top line indicates the total fish production. It is continuously increasing because of so many technology, policy, and other kind of institutional development in this sector. But if you look at the two graphs, two lines below, the lines which are dotted with the blue dots, these are marine. So these are increasing at a decreasing rate. And the line with the pink dots is represents the inland sector. It is increasing at an increasing rate. This is about the trend. Friends, coming specifically to the export market, I think you know very well the fishery sector exports about 10% of its total catch or total production. And our major buyers of USA and European Union countries, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and a few other countries in the European region, they are the next major buyers, EU countries, and then Japan. Japan is another major buyer. Besides, China also starts buying a few of our commodity, and they do some reprocessing, they also export. So these are our major buyers of our export market. Our export products, I think you know, though we land and produce so many types of fish species, but our major fish being exported is shrimps. I think this is where a lot of diversification is required, and we need to export more and more of other fishes. Maybe some of our fin fishes are also having a very good export demand that we need to consider. But right now, we are exporting more and more of shrimp. I think more than 2/3 of the exports we are making are from shrimps, frozen shrimps. So that's what we are exporting. And friends, you know, our foreign exchange revenue from the export of fishery products is increasing. The latest figure says we are getting around more than 46,000 crore annually from the export of fish. That's the potential. That too, from 10 million of fish being produced in the country, we are getting around 46,000 crore. Think of the potential. Even if we increase the export of fish from the present 10% to about 50%, you can think of the potential of the fishery sector in bringing a lot of foreign exchange to our country. So that's a potential. Here you are seeing the supply chain of a typical export of shrimps. You are seeing aquaculture where the harvested one are seeing the picture of shrimps being graded based on the sizes. I think you know very well that the fish shrimp is being priced based on the count. 33 count is the best price it commands in the export market. 33 count. In a pack of 1 kilo, 33 shrimp should be there. So that fetches the premium. That is the most demanded the export unit which our buyers want. So 33 count. So here you are seeing the separation, mechanical separation. This is you are seeing a picture where they peel the shrimp. Shell is out, even vein is out, so no head. So it is a completely deveined I mean, yeah, this is a peeled shrimp you are seeing. See, here you are seeing a rack wherein all the peeled shrimps are stored in the deep freezer. You are seeing a consignment coming out of a deep freezer. Here you are seeing the another process of grading, that is manual grading process in a fish processing unit. Mostly women are involved in this process. Here you are seeing one such form of the processing, that is called blanching. Blanched shrimp you are seeing. So these are mostly prepared from the broken shrimps during the manual grading process. So all those broken shrimps are usually blanched and then it is exported as a blanched shrimp. This is one form of the fishery product being exported. You are seeing the final process of passing through the metal detector, and here you are seeing the processing manager who is showing the final packet of the fish, frozen shrimp being ready for export. You are seeing the cold storage unit where these are being kept until it moves to the shipment. So this is how a typical operation of export-oriented processing unit functions. Coming specifically to domestic fish market, we know very well. I think Shakti Ranjan was also telling, he was making a reference that if the fish is being used, the word fish is being used with wrong connotations always. For any bad things, fish is being referred. If there is something bad, when 2-3 people speak among themselves, and if it is secretive in nature, people don't say they are talking something secret. They'll say there is something fishy happening there. So similarly, in an area where there is no order, where the people do not follow any kind of order, calm, quiet, discipline, and when they make a lot of noise, they say, see, the place is like fish market. So that is the importance given to this the particular commodity and the market. And this is very well evident when you visit any fish market in this country. Physical facility infrastructure is very bad, and the sector is also very complex sector. I think our chief guest was telling, this is a very complex sector. Though it is very important, still complexities are more. It is highly perishable. Among all the perishable commodity, fish is the highly perishable commodity. And it is bulky in nature. You cannot just keep it in a very small place. You need a lot of space in storing the material, which is a very, very challenging thing. Highly heterogeneous. We may say fish as a single commodity. No, fish, there are thousands of fish species in the marine waters, brackish water, fresh water, and in fresh water, so many water bodies are there, and all fishes specific to all these production systems are unique. They are different. So it is highly heterogeneous, and as a result of it, it involves huge cost of storage and transportation, and quality is not given any guarantee by anybody. So that's a kind of complex, and fish is being produced from various locations, especially in the inland sector. If you see in freshwater, difficulty in assembling from too many production sites is a challenge, and many varieties, price variations, market arrivals. So all are different because production cycles are different, and the landing of fish in the marine waters are different, and the existence of water bodies in some of the freshwater bodies are different in our country, like rivers, the big beels, open water bodies in the eastern India. These are different. Pond is different. Reservoirs, water holding capacity and water availability is different. So as a result of it, market arrivals are highly variable. And of course, nobody knows the fish prices of any particular market, and there is no mechanism. I think once again, I am referring the comment made by our chief guest. We should follow the model of egg. There is a separate council for them, managed by producers themselves, managed by layer farmers themselves. They have NEC, National Egg Coordination Committee. They announce prices daily, and you see the price in their website also. Weekly price they release. In fact, daily they decide the price. Who is looking after our sector? There is nobody. So there is lack of information on price. So this is another kind of the lacuna. And of course, not anybody can go and do fish business. There are a lot of entry restrictions, especially in auctioning, wholesale trading, and all those things. Only few sect of people are involved in this. There is no free market in fishery. There are a lot of restrictions. That's where I think Honorable Vice Chancellor was mentioning a very good point, that there should be some sort of regulation. I think it should be brought under, at least inland fishes should be brought under APMCs. So we have to work out the modalities, how the fish can be facilitated in APMCs. So those are the things which we are thinking. And of course, after the advent of National Fisheries Development Board, there is a wise thought by the government missionary that domestic marketing should be promoted. NFDB is, essentially involved in promoting or increasing the fish production through promotion of various production practices. At the same time, they also felt there is no one who is taking care of domestic marketing of fish at present, and the NFDB should take care of the domestic fish market. This is a welcome move which happened in the year 2006 itself. Friends, this is in general about the marketing channel of fish and fishery products with respect to marine and brackish water. You know that fisherman brings the fish to the shore, and then in the shore, there are a group of auctioneers who conduct the auction. They facilitate the transfer of fish from fishermen to the wholesalers. In fact, wholesalers send their commission agent to the landing centers. They participate in auction. They purchase on behalf of wholesaler. After reaching wholesale market, it goes to the retailers, street vendors, and bulk purchasers like hotels and other people. Then finally, it reaches the consumers. Similarly, if you look at the marketing channel of the inland fishes, once again, it starts from fishermen or aquaculturists, we say. Fishermen, of course, the people who are operating in the big open water bodies, they are called the fishermen. And the people who are culturing the fish are called aquaculturists or fish farmers. From them, it goes to either trader or fisher cooperatives. Wherever big open water bodies are there, we are seeing fisher cooperatives operating. They just facilitate in trading the fish to the wholesaler. Then from wholesaler, once again, it goes to the retailers downstream. Friends, this is a fish landing in normal times. You see, if you happen to visit any fishing harbor or fish landing center or even fish market, you will see a lot of people who are involved in the loading, unloading, handling ice, and then handling the trays, weighman process. So many people you will see, and you can think of the challenges the sector is facing in the post-COVID scenario. Normally, any operations in the fishery sector, starting from the harvest till it reaches the retail market, huge number of people are involved in fishery. Because I know, I told that fish is a very, very bulky material. So this is what the scenario you see in the normal times. You are seeing another visual in the beach landing center, where fish is being brought by the big trawlers, which you are seeing in the backside of the picture. And then from there, using country boat, they bring the fish in the heaps to the landing center for the auction process. This is a picture of a typical fish auction hall in normal time. You see how people are congregated. We do not know how we are going to face in the post-COVID situation with the kind of restrictions on the physical distancing and hygiene and so many things but in actual practice, people are finding it very difficult to participate in the auction. But this is a normal picture. And here, handling. Once auction happens, the commission agents are involved in packing the fish to be taken to the other further wholesale markets. Friends, we must know the moment we talk of fish marketing, we should know some of the major players of the fish marketing. We call them market intermediaries. I am classifying roughly into 4 major categories, that is auctioneer, wholesaler, retailer, and vendor. Let us see how auctioneers are there in our country. Most of the auctioneers in our country are men. There are a few auction centers in our country where it is wholly operated by women. You are seeing a picture of a male auctioneer in a southern coast of Thoothukudi in Tamil Nadu. In the right bottom, you are seeing a coast of Versova, Mumbai, where you are seeing completely it is operated by the women. The next player, fish collector or local dealer, who is the agent of wholesaler. Then the wholesaler. Wholesale marketing in our country with respect to fish happens in a building and also in the open area. Here you are seeing the other fish market, Crawford Fish Market, they call it, in Mumbai. And downstairs, that happens in a building. And in Hyderabad, you are seeing an open fish market in the place called the Mushirabad. Retailers, same situation of wholesaler. The only difference is the volume of quantity traded. You are seeing pictures of a typical wholesale markets. You can see the facility, very bad facility, and there is no proper spacing. They are all sitting and doing the trade in a very, very congested manner. And the sector is will face a lot of challenges in times to come in view of this kind of contagion, where people move very closely, and with their awareness level low, we have a very huge task at our hand. in making fish marketing happening in the post-COVID scenario. Vendors, see, these are also another major players, market intermediaries who are involved in the handling of the fish. They take in smaller quantity and they operate on a daily basis, and they are mobile. In our country, all sorts of vehicles are used, starting from jeep, minivans, the small utility vehicles, besides mopeds, cycles, everybody, even by walk, people. It's a common sight in southern India. People walking, especially women vendors, walking on the streets selling the fish. So these are the scenario. Coming specifically the marketing system of freshwater fish, we don't have a very kind of a very organized way of marketing the freshwater fishes in our country, but there is one such marketing channel which is very much standardized, prevalent in this country, which are in fact innovated and standardized by the traders themselves. We can call it in modern terms, they are the entrepreneurs who just deal in handling the fish, who are involved in transferring the fish from the farmer to the consumer. These are the people who are operating in the state of Andhra Pradesh, where huge amount of the aquaculture, the freshwater aquaculture of Indian major crops, that is Rohu and Katla, is happening in the three major districts, West Godavari, East Godavari, and Krishna district of Andhra Pradesh. So where you will see pond aquaculture in a very big way, and using the normal trucks. You are seeing a picture of vehicles standing on the highway. That is a highway between Guwahati and Shillong, where the picture was taken by me, where you are seeing a truck of Andhra Pradesh. So this truck, after offloading the fish in Howrah market, West Bengal, they are taking the remaining to the other northeastern states. And the left top, you are seeing the picture of a harvesting operation happening in the East Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh. Friends, I am showing this channel from the fish farmer. With the help of trader, it goes to Howrah market. Then after that, it goes to many northeastern states, and only few commodity goes to the local trader, and then local market it reaches. You are seeing a sequence of activities starting from harvesting. You are seeing the harvesting activity where large amount of laborers are involved from the pond site. Once captured, harvested fish comes to the packing unit, where you will see these trucks which are being used for transporting the fish. Lots of trays, made of plastic, as well as thermocol are being used. Plastic trays are used for lifting the fish from the pond site to the packing unit, and from the packing unit for the long distance travel up to Howrah and beyond. Thermocol boxes are used. Here you are seeing the material. Each box contains 40 kg and 250 boxes of fish. Of 40 kg is loaded in a truck. You are seeing a lot of ice is being used. You are seeing laborers bringing down fish, and you are seeing the insulation materials which farmers are using, because we know that there is no insulated vehicle for transporting the fish. We have insulated vehicles for transporting the milk in the country, but not for fish, nothing. Only few export processing units are using some of the insulated vans of small quantity, but for fish, there is no such thing. Farmers have innovated themselves. The traders have innovated themselves by using the thermocol sheets and the rice bran, sawdust, and all those things as additional insulation material. You are seeing a truck being packed with the thermocol boxes, and then padded outside by the big thermocol sheets, and the further insulation is being done by putting the rice brans, sawdust, and you are seeing the truck is ready. In fact, the whole sequence of harvesting till the packing was taken on a single day in this series of pictures. You are seeing the picture of evening 6:30. The first harvesting picture was taken at 9:30 in the morning. So it takes about 9 to 10 hours for loading a truck of having 10 tons freshwater fish, which are ready for long distance transportation from the state of Andhra Pradesh to the state of Bengal. This is how the entrepreneurial nature of Andhra Pradesh is very much visible, that they produce for the market elsewhere. They don't produce for themselves. Like the state of Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh is also really comparatively, especially the fish farmers, the aquaculture fish farmers, the Rohu Katla fish farmers they are more of vegetarian. They are not much of a non-vegetarian, but at the same time, they just transport the fish in a huge quantity on a very large scale on a daily basis for so many years. So that's the kind of system we are seeing. Friends, quickly we'll see, unless otherwise we know the different market infrastructures where fish is being handled, the understanding of the fish marketing may not be complete, I felt. So I am just classifying the different types of market infrastructure in these 4 major groups: landing centers, wholesale markets, and retail outlets. And these are the typical fishing harbor, that is a landing center, which you will see. I think, those who know the marine sector, where the fish is landed, the timing of fish landing. Usually it comes in the very early morning, and the landing happens for about 4 to 5 hours. It starts usually at around 4 o'clock, and at the end it goes up to 9 o'clock in the morning. Then only the landing centers is free and it is being cleaned. So here you are seeing the picture of a Thoothukudi fishing harbor of Tamil Nadu, and here you are seeing the fishing harbor of Cochin, where fish is being landed and then kept ready for auctioning. Here you are seeing fish landing centers where there are no kind of concrete structures available mostly. You are seeing the Mumbai, one of the Mumbai fish landing centers, where you will see the people being offloading. People are offloading the fish in an afternoon cycle. This is once again the wholesale market. I am showing the picture of the other wholesale market. Here you are seeing the Hyderabad wholesale market, open market. Here you are seeing a retail market, which is there at Chennai. And here you are seeing another roadside retail market in Chennai, once again, closer to Nellore, on the outskirts of Tamil Nadu, and it is closer to Nellore. So there you are seeing a fish market, retail fish market. And here you are seeing the roadside fish market in Cochin, near Vipin Island. So this is a Vipin fish market. And the last segment is retail outlets. Initially, the retail outlets are promoted by the fishermen cooperative federations of the state government, as well as some of the state fisheries development corporations. But now we have come a long way, that there are several private entrepreneurs who have started the very, very hygienic the fish retail outlets. Here you are seeing the Andhra Pradesh Cooperative Federation operated fish retail outlets. Here you are seeing Tamil Nadu Fisheries Development Corporation promoted fish retail outlets. And there are several private retail outlets coming up, I told you. Here you are seeing some of the fish retail outlets which are there in the heart of the cities of our country, very hygienic, with a display system, with electronic balance system, with a hygienic fish handlers doing the trading. You are seeing one such pictures of Mangalore. And see, nowadays in the supermarkets in major cities, there is a segment for fisheries sector also. The right top, you are seeing one such a segment in Spar, the hypermarket in Chennai. And in the left bottom, you are seeing very common fish retail outlets. You are seeing one such fish retail outlet in Ernakulam, Cochin, and you are seeing similar one in the Bhubaneswar also. Friends, coming specific to the COVID-19 impact. So see, the very nature of this disease, we all know that it is infectious, it is contagious, it spreads very fast, and it spreads through the droplets. Last 2-3 months, we are witnessing all such happenings in the agriculture sector, and fisheries sector is no exception. Almost all the stakeholders are grappling with the huge losses, and we do not know when normalcy will return and how long it will take. And with a large amount of the fish which are about to be captured from the marine waters, the fish which are about to be harvested from the ponds, which are being delayed for want of labors and so many other support system in our fishery system, we do not know when these will reach the shore and when people are going to buy, and how the stakeholders who are going to be normal in their business. And laborers are migrated. I think the sector employs, in a very rough estimate, about 1.5 million people labors. It's a very, very conventional estimate which I have made. See, there are about 15 million people who are dependent on this sector through various kind of activities, main as well as subsidiary activities. Around 10%, they are directly involved in various post-harvest operations after landing. So these kind of, with the absence of these people, we do not know when the normalcy will return. And immediately after that, I am just highlighting some of the measures have been announced by the Government of India. Finance Minister announced relief package for the agriculture sector as a whole. See, amount of 2,000 was given under Prime Minister Kisan scheme to all the farmers. Several state governments have also given separately the compensation package to the fishermen over and above the normal assistance given during the fishing ban period. But still, large number of fish farmers are out of this relief package, and they have raised the wage rate of MG Narega scheme, in which there is a huge scope for the fisherwomen particularly, who can be employed in some of the post-harvest related activities in future. Right now, there is no such clear-cut guidelines. And for the poor people, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana was announced. Similarly, for us, Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is also reiterated. It was announced. I will tell in the fag end of this presentation. And besides, a lot of food grains were given, and a separate fund was created. Specifically, ICAR has issued state-based guidelines for the farmers. ICAR has also issued the very specific guidelines for the fisheries sector. Today's chief guest, Dr. Ravi Shankar Sir's Institute, CFT Cochin, has come out with a very detailed guidelines for various stakeholders in this fisheries sector, which also I will show at the later stages. So ICAR has, it has done its duty in releasing guidelines for the safe operations in the fisheries sector. And of course, on the financial side, Reserve Bank of India has announced specific measures. Those who got the short-term loans were given 3 months moratorium from the repayment facility, and interest subvention was given. Similarly, under Prime Minister Matsya Sampada Yojana, we are thinking of extending similar such package to the fishermen particularly. So, but these are the general announcement made by the Government of India. And this is a scenario in the post-COVID. Fishing activity completely suspended. All activities were suspended from March 23 now. But even before that, from March 15, there is not from March 15, from April 15, of course, in the East Coast, we are supposed to start the marine fishing ban. The big mechanized vessels will be off the fishing ice for about 2 months in the East Coast, and the same thing which was to start from 15 June. But after this lockdown, including the manual and motorized fishing boats, mechanized trawlers were also suspended. And this has resulted in a kind of very different situation with this sector. Both lockdown as well as marine fishing ban has resulted in low supply, and social distancing and the food safety concerns from the consumer side resulted in low demand. I believe somebody was telling in the inaugural function that there was a kind of, I think our Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned that there was a story in the beginning that originally from China, Wuhan market, the COVID virus has come from the seafood market. That was a news we all studied. So that has created huge food safety concerns among the fish consuming public across the globe. They were not even buying the other non-vegetarian products, chicken, mutton, they were not buying. Fish, they were very much scared because they found that fish is carrying this virus, which was found later on not true. But then, see, consumption is a behavior. The purchase is actually a behavior. So once that is affected, it creates huge disequilibrium in the market. So these two big things, lockdown and suspension of fishing activity, resulted in low supply and food safety concerns. And the people were not allowed to move outside, created low demand. And because of this, arrivals were becoming less, in fact, nil. So fish purchase and sales nosedived due to the kind of situation. And I told you in the beginning, COVID-19 affected the livelihood of all stakeholders. Both the subsector of fisheries, marine as well as inland, freshwater, has very specific stakeholders operating in these systems. Boat owners, auctioneers, craft and gear mechanics, net vendors, ice factory owners, and so many people, even share fishers, the laborers who go inside the big mechanized trawler. They're all the stakeholders, all were affected. On the inland side, farmers, feed manufacturers, other input suppliers, transporters, laborers, once again ice factory owners and hatchery owners. They were all affected. They become suddenly the activity less or jobless, so they could not market their produce. But of course, there are few positives. We feel that marine fishing ban enhances the conservation in the marine waters because of that, because of the cessation of or stoppage of all activities. There were better conservation of marine ecosystem because there were no activities in the waters. So that would have by default would have increased the fishery resources in the marine waters. But of course, there are huge negatives. Livelihoods were lost, and then fishery business was completely stopped. Coming specifically to each subsector in the post-COVID situation, we know that lockdown has forced fishermen to dump their catches into the sea. We have seen at many places, many coastal area, those who went inside, because you know that the big mechanized trawler operations are all multi-day. They go inside for 5 to 7 days, 8 days, even some places 10 days. So by the time, and they go in a cyclical manner. A group of the trawlers go on every day inside sea, and they regularly come back after their catch is over. And the people who are inside the sea, once they come back and when they saw the harbors were empty, where there was no people, the complete ice factories are closed, fishing harbors are closed, and there are no transportation facilities, and so they could not do what they could not do with their catch. So they have thrown back the catch into the sea, and we have seen that in several coasts they have discarded. I am just showing one example here in the Raigad fishing harbor area. They have forced 15 days. They're forced to throw back 15 days catch. About 1 lakh tons was thrown out. And in this regard, our ICR CFT Cochin estimated the crisis, estimated the loss only from the mechanized and non-mechanized sectors, only from the value of the fish which is being captured onto the shore. The daily loss was worked out to 224 crores. This excludes the other activities on processing, exports, and other modes of the fish marketing. Only the value of fish being lost from marine sector on a daily basis, 224 crores. So it's a very huge amount. And right now, once the lockdown is being lifted and slowly the fishing activity started, especially in the east coast, we are seeing slow resumption of activity. But still, it is very, very difficult. It may take a very long time because it requires the support of labor, fuel. Fuel, of course, you can supply, but then labor. I told you, there are many migrant laborers involved in fishing activity as well as in several ancillary activity, loading, unloading, icing, packing, transportation. We are dependent on a huge number of migrant laborers who are already migrated, reverse migrated to their state. So it is very slowly coming to normalcy. At the same time, still, because of so many restrictions in the markets, consumers are not getting, or they are not going to the fish market to purchase. The arrivals are also still less, and still the demand is increasing very, very slow. So whatever, there is another kind of dimension. Whatever fish is captured now is being catered to the local markets only. Mostly the southern states, they are able to consume whatever is being landed in their coastal area. But in some of the northern states, especially Gujarat, I think the point was mentioned by both the renowned experts in the inaugural function. Gujarat, particularly Gujarat, may find it difficult to transport the fish to long distance. Mostly they export, but now slowly they start consuming also, and they are also trying to transport the fishes to the long distances, particularly to Delhi. Gujarat fish reaches, and the activities are not happening where some states are finding a lot of difficulty. Coming to the inland freshwater sector, I told you about the Indian major crops marketing system, domestic marketing system from Andhra Pradesh to West Bengal. Daily about 200 trucks were leaving before COVID situation, each carrying 10 tons. But now during the COVID situation, only 35 to 40 trucks are being operating. They are only being operated in the current scenario. Even now, they have not started in they have not increased in a significant manner. Even now, as on today, on a daily basis, only 35 to 40 trucks are being operated, and prices of fishes are going up. We found that 20-25% price is high because more than the required time, the fish was kept in the pond. So the cost of production has gone up, and which is reflected in the price also. And it is also expected that there is going to be a glut in the domestic market once the situation becomes very normal, and once all the fishes are anyway harvested after 1 or 2 months from now on, because you know that in the freshwater pond aquaculture system, the production period is for 10 months. Now already some of the ponds have kept the fish for 12 months. It is uneconomical to keep the fish for more than for another 1 or 2 months. Anyway, they are going to harvest. Anyway, all the fishes from the freshwater are going to come to the market. And once such things happens, and if it increases from the current level, there will be glut in the market. We do not know how to regulate the entry of fish in the fish market. See, handling, storage, even discarding the fish will be a huge difficulty for the development officials. And we also have to see how the increased cost of production will translate into the price. Coming specifically to the brackish water aquaculture sector, we know brackish water aquaculture is specifically meant for export. But now, because of the stoppage of the international air transport, and because of the pandemic situation still persisting in our buyer countries, US, UK, European Union, so they have stopped buying our export-oriented shrimp. So they are not buying, and so how the situation is going to come back to normalcy and how quick is going to be a big thing. There are projections that there is going to be 40% reduction in the catch and 20 to 40% drop in the price during this year. Already we have witnessed the price of the export oriented frozen shrimp is slowly being released from the cold storage unit, and they are trying to market to the domestic markets. Already these are happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh. We are seeing in the city of Hyderabad even. The export-oriented peeled, deveined, frozen shrimp is coming to the domestic markets. And of course, there are opportunity also. It is not that the Indian consumers are having very poor purchasing power. We are also growing in our income level, and the consuming public purchasing power is increasing. And the export-oriented firms are thinking very seriously to divert many export-oriented shrimp to the domestic market. And price is also advantageous when compared to the other competitive products price. You know the price of mutton in this time. See, the prices have increased more than 800, 900 at some point of time. At some days, it is being sold at that level. Whereas the shrimp price in the domestic market is less. Even if you calculate the cost of production, cost of rearing this frozen shrimp, still it would be advantageous to tap the domestic markets. Friends, we also know that domestic demand is increasing. It is not that we were there in the situation of some 30 years ago. So these are the figures from various rounds of National Sample Survey Organization household consumption quantities. This is a per capita annual fish consumption at the household level. At the household level, this is the fish consumption level, both urban and rural. It is continuously increasing, and we have a huge scope for tapping the urban markets, especially in this post-COVID situation. Coming specifically to the opportunities in this sector, we have to develop innovative marketing efforts for the fish, like which is happening for other perishable food products. Especially in the COVID situation, several state governments and agencies have taken the horticultural commodities, particularly vegetables and fruits, to the neighborhood. They were just moving the vegetables to street after street for sale in some of the major states. You are seeing some pictures. At the top, mobile vegetable vending was happening in the state of Tamil Nadu. Here you are seeing the picture of a Chennai Corporation operated mobile vegetable vending unit. Down, left, down, you are seeing mobile fish vending unit, which have been started by our ICAR, another ICAR mobile vending units, and it is gaining huge popularity in the post-COVID situation. Already, mobile fish vendings are being done by several states. You are seeing one such picture down by the Matsya, Kerala itself. Several states are already doing the mobile. Goa, right top, Uttar Pradesh, left down. I think the state of Odisha, right bottom. So all have already started mobile fish stalls, mobile vending units, which have great future in this current situation of COVID. There is another opportunity in the fisheries sector. we have to deliver the fish at the doorstep of the consumers. Already several big corporate houses are there in the in this business for door delivery of vegetables, milk, egg. So already this is happening. You know, Big Basket, Grofers, they're all doing this business. They're already in the operation for quite some time. And they have already started taking the fish also to the doorstep of the consumers. Even Reliance Jio, they have also come. Jio, they have Jio Mart is one such vertical of the Reliance Industries. Just by WhatsApp message, they will deliver the fish at your doorstep. Besides, there are several startups which have come in the recent few years. I think in the last 2-3 years, the country, mainly metropolitan cities, are seeing several mobile apps, app-based online delivery platforms, mainly for the non-vegetarian products. I'm saying whatever you are seeing here are all the non-vegetarian food items delivery through online platform. We are seeing Jaffresh, Tender Cuts. Jaffresh is operating in Delhi, Mumbai, in major cities. You've been knowing they're also one such. In fact, they are the first people who entered this industry online. Even in fact, some of the state agencies are also doing such kind of online delivery. You are seeing one such app, online delivery platform being operated by Tamil Nadu Fisheries Development Corporation. They are called Meengal app. So you just and especially after the they have started this kind of operation even before the COVID situation. But after the COVID has come, their sales, their significance has improved, and there are overwhelming support from the public. So these are some of the online things. You are seeing Fresh to Home stall. They have a stationary stall also, and they also deliver by order through online. They also deliver. Downstairs, you are seeing the delivery by the Tamil Nadu Fisheries Development Corporation. Friends, apart from all these things, there are still very many opportunities in the sector in the post-COVID situation, especially which can be directly relevant to the fish marketing. You know that there is a specific package given for the resurgence of the MSME sector, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and under the Mudra scheme of Government of India, there are a lot of incentive and interest subvention, and the terms, they were all relaxed. They were all tweaked in the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, which was recently by the Finance Minister, and to the social sector, specifically for the fishery. As you said, farmers, fishermen mainly, they're all disintegrated mostly. I think it was mentioned by our Honorable Vice Chancellor also that generally the cooperative movement among fishermen is not so successful in our country as is the case of dairy sector. So fishermen, only in few states they are together. Their cooperative societies and federations are very popular and strong in influencing their operations. But the rest of the places, they are disintegrated. They are not together. I think in this situation, farmer producer organization concept has to come in the fisheries also. I think we should also think of fish producer organizations. And there are huge opportunity. These are already happening in the perishable sector, especially fruits and vegetables. There are some successful FPOs operating in our country, especially in southern India. There are a lot of FPOs who are doing great in specialized horticultural products in our country. Why not for the fish? There is a huge opportunity because if they are together, their bargaining power will increase, and their exploitation among the middlemen will also go down, and their livelihood will improve in the long run. And specifically, to be specific, I told you in the beginning, ICR has issued advisories for the COVID-19, CFT Cochin and the Fishery Barracoon. They have given mitigation advisories for the harvest and post-harvest operations. And they have given the specific instructions of do's and don'ts for the safety. And I think you may be knowing that the FAO has already recommended these advisories for the whole region, Asia Pacific. And these are some of the advisories you can see in our site also. Is there other the social distancing requirements, which are essentially to be kept and practiced by all of us to be away from this disease. Specifically to the fish market, the advices were given on restricting the timing of sale, maintaining social distance or physical distance. Specific advisories, I think issuing advisory and making the people issuing advisory may be easy in a country like us, but then making public or not very much literate or who are not very much serious about the disease so far. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, more than 20,000 crores have been allotted, of which 11,000 crores are for the increase in the production of the fisheries, the fishes from all these sectors, all these subsectors, and specifically 9,000 crore have been earmarked for improving the supply chain logistics of the market development, under which fishermen are likely to be extended or given the usual assistance. But more than this, still the several fishermen associations are asking specific relief packages over and above this. But already a sizable amount have been announced under the Atmanirbhar Bharat. That the crisis has opened up opportunity. That is what I would say. Because of this opportunity, now we realize the importance of the hygiene condition of this fish marketing ecosystem. So the fish marketing is going to be neat and clean, and we are going to improve. There are hope that we are going to upgrade the market infrastructures in a very, very huge manner, and we are going to sensitize all the fish handlers about the hygiene practices. That is a big casualty in this particular sector. After this COVID situation, a lot of awareness among all these people, and it is going to increase the hygiene of our fish marketing system. Of course, we are going to move towards a digital auction. Digital auction is going to be the future. Big water bodies, maybe from marine water as well as from the fish being harvested from the big open water bodies in future. Initiative of Asia Pacific region. The country Oman, the Sultanate of Oman, they have already started this digital auction process. The same way, India is also has a huge scope to regulate this auction process, by which twin benefits can be achieved. Fishermen also may get more price, better price than what they are getting now. And there is no need of all the buyers to congregate in the auction hall, thereby increasing the COVID. Digital auction is going to be future. Already digital auctions are happening in other sectors, and they have already tested success, and they are reaping the benefits. I think FAO has once again advised a similar kind of process for the other countries in the region. And friends, we have to take the fish to the neighborhood. We have to take the fish to the doorstep, maybe by mobile vending units, by increasing the mobile vending units, and also by promoting several startups, new entrepreneurs who can come online. Now, the consumers in the towns and cities, they want the fish at their doorstep to be at safe, and they are ready to pay even extra. And that's the reason entrepreneurs are already in the market, in the online market. And this is going to come in a big way in future also. So with this optimism, I just thank you once again for patiently listening to me. And I just request Dr. Panigrahi to show two small video, 1.5 minute video, two videos, one on the impact, another on the digital auction process.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Definitely.
I would show first the picture on how it has impacted the fisher folk in our country. This is what has happened during lockdown period.
Sir, video is not visible, sir. Video is not coming, sir.
It's not coming?
No, sir.
Are you not seeing? Shakti?
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh, okay. I thought it is being. The screen is silent?
Screen is silent. Screen is visible. PPT is visible, but not the video.
Okay. Are you able to see now?
Video is start. Video is started. Okay.
This is a start. I am sorry. I am sorry.
No issue. No issue, sir.
Yeah. So this is one, and one more, one more, 1 minute video.
Okay, sir. Okay, carry on, sir. Carry on. Sir.
Yeah. Are you seeing?
The video has not come.
1 minute. Are you seeing?
No, sir.
Oh, very something.
Sir, may
Okay.
I? Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
No
this is about digital action. No issue. No issue.
No issue, sir. So really live presentations, and particularly those who are students, entrepreneurs. It is just a business environment, a fishery business environment, starting from the production to marketing and new startup and new opportunities. So my request to you, sir, kindly with us till our second speaker will going to deliver her talk. And after that,
I'm going to.
we have 15 to 20 minutes of the question answer round. That will be better for the.
Yeah. I'm going to sit. I'm sitting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. I welcome Ashish, Assistant Professor, Anand Agriculture University, to welcome Ma'am Dhanlakshmi Ma'am. Please, Ashish.
Thank you, sir. So we have with us Miss A. Dhanlakshmi Ma'am. So Ma'am she's ex-director of National Fisheries Development Board, and Ma'am has more than 25 years of experience in government services. She studied computer science and engineering from Bharati Dasan University. She completed engineering in the year 1992. She cleared civil services examination in the year 1993 with very first attempt. She worked in various ministries of Government of India like Urban Development, Rural Development, Cabinet Secretariat, Steel Ministry, Information and Broadcasting Ministry, Ministry of Minorities Affairs, National Commission of Minorities, National Institute of Rural Development, and National Fisheries Development Board. During her tenure with National Fisheries Development Board, she specialized in fish market information system and conversion of fish waste in fertilizer. She has helped in design Mera Matsyadan and fish market information. So with this background, I would like to invite ma'am to deliver this session on scope and future strategies in fish marketing. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please unmute your speaker. Please unmute it.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure to. What are the schemes available for fisheries sector and how much outlay has been made in this sector? Can you start? Start the presentation. Just a minute. I'll start my presentation.
No, ma'am. No issue, ma'am.
Presentation. Yeah, fish marketing in India, it's worth 1,200 crores. Both domestic and international consumption has grown over a period of time. Okay, fish marketing starts at the auction stage. There are two kinds of fish production. One is capture fishing, the other one is culture fishery. In capture fisheries, whatever is available naturally in the sea, in the river, in the ponds is caught by the fisherwomen and fishermen and used for consumption, local consumption. In culture fisheries, we dig pond, we put a particular kind of seed and give proper nutrition as per the weight requirement of the fishes, and then we grow it as the fishes are tailor made in culture fisheries. And the culture fisheries cost of production also increases, and the cost at which the people can sell these fishes also increases. So culture fisheries are economically more viable than capture fisheries. So there are several kinds of market. In international market, India is the fourth biggest seafood exporter, though India is the second largest producer of seafood next to China. The export wise, we are in fourth position. During the year 1819, India has exported more than 14 million metric tons of seafood worth 47,000 crores of rupees. Fish and fish productions emerge as the largest group in agricultural export. India's seafood export sector is a very thriving market, and it has seen a growth rate of 42%, almost half, 1.5 times the earlier growth rate during 2019. 2019 was a very good year for fisheries development. During 2019, China is the prominent buyer of Indian fish products, and more specifically, they are interested in our frozen shrimp. And frozen shrimps are produced in Andhra and Telangana area, and these are exported to China in large quantities. Fish markets in India are classified. Domestic fish market holds a huge potential. It's always unregularized and unorganized. Though NFDB has funded up to 25 fish markets all over India, these markets at the time of constructions are really very good, but maintenance by the local fishermen cooperative still needs to be done, and that has to be improved. The markets, there are a lot of wholesale markets where the caught fish is brought from the landing center. These markets, when I have visited at least 2-3 years back, was in a very unhygienic condition. Proper water facility to clean the area is not available. Even if it is available, the people are not trained to even maintain a hygienic fish market. Though these wholesale fish markets in India handle 1 to 100 times, there are some fish markets like Nellore fish market, and in West Bengal there are a few fish markets, and in Mumbai there are a few fish markets in Kulobai area which handles more than 100 tons. But still, the higher the amount of fish handled by these markets, the more unhygienic and more crowded and more dirtier the market is. Because of poor handling at the wholesale market stage, though the fish comes fresh from the landing center, once it reaches the market, because these people don't properly refrigerate it, or there is no proper warehouse facility where they can be frozen, or proper availability of ice at cheaper rate for the fish vendors to freeze it immediately. The quality of fish sold in these fish markets degenerate over a period of time, at right from the landing center to the fish market, wholesale fish market, the degeneration process will start. But once it reaches these wholesale markets, again, there is no proper handling, and as a result, the wholesale fish markets render unhygienic fish, and these fishes are again taken to the retail markets, where once fish, fish is a highly perishable object. Once degeneration starts, nobody can stop. That's the reason people resort to this kind of formalin issues. They try to preserve it using formalin, which is a very unhygienic and unhealthy method of preserving fish. So we have to take care of the preservation of fish in these wholesale markets. Now, there are certain retail markets where the fish, wholesale like Spencer's, Walmart, and Best. These people directly go to the fisherman community. They have an agreement with the cooperative societies of fishermen, or the fisherman community bringing fish at the landing center, and they directly get hold of these fishes, and they start preserving it right from the landing center. So the quality of fish in these retail outlets, though it takes long time to sell, is much better than the quality of fish in the wholesale market and retail markets, general markets, because here the preservation starts right from the stage of purchase. So these retail outlets, since they directly take it from the landing centers, either ports and harbors in the case of marine fisheries, and rivers and riverbeds and canal beds in the case of inland fisheries, or if it is a culture fisheries, they go to the farm gate and collect these fishes at very reasonable price. This is a win-win situation where the people also get good quality fish at lower price, and the fishermen also, without any middleman, they directly get the value for their cash immediately. The common fishes available in India are, these are all freshwater fish, or freshwater are carps, pangasius, morels, koi, magur, tilapia, and pati. This tilapia fish can be grown anywhere. This is very cheap fish, available very reasonably. And the costliest fish is your morel fish, which can live long. They are actually sold live and very fresh. People prefer this, but it is very expensive. Like tilapia can be bought at 60 rupees per kg in a local market, whereas morel can be bought at 600 rupees per kg because it's live and it reaches the people in a very fresh state. These are the common marine fish varieties: sardines, anchovies, tuna, sea bass, Bombay duck, croaker, shrimp, squid, lobster, and crabs. These are available in marine fish markets, large scale markets. Next. Based on the type of fish, the fish markets are segregated into inland fish markets, marine fish market, shrimp and scampi fish market. Based on the product type also, fish markets are segregated as fresh fish market, where generally people go and buy fresh fish. Frozen fish market, these are all post-harvest processed fishes. They are frozen, and this frozen food has a shelf life of 6 to 8 months, and they are also hygienically processed, and that can be had without any doubt. Canned fish, like fishes, like high value fishes like tuna, they are canned and sold all over the world, and they command highest price because their shelf life is much more than frozen fish or fresh fish. Canned fish can be used up to a period of 1 year. So the more it produces more cost, it gives more cost to the fisheries. On the base of end users also, we can classify markets into retail markets and institutional markets, like markets set up for the purpose of retailers, wholesalers kind of thing. See, these are the vehicles which are subsidized by NFDB. These are all mini fish markets, okay? These vehicles, these two-wheelers you are seeing, it comes as a full set, a two-wheeler, a moped with one tank which holds from up to 5 to 10 kgs of fish. They can have live fish because there is a facility for oxygen supply into these tanks. And they have a weighing scale and equipments for cutting the fish. This whole setup comes at a cost of 58,000. In Telangana particularly, the government has subsidized it. NFDB share was 40% of the cost of the mopeds. Telangana again contributed the gap, and it reached the beneficiaries at the rate of 60-40. For beneficiary had to pay only 40% of the cost of the vehicle, and the remaining 60 was collaboratively subsidized by both NFDB and State Fisheries Department. These markets, these two-wheelers were moving around the whole of the states, both in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, even in Maharashtra and Bihar. This kind of market subsidy has been provided in large quantities, and they are these fish vendors, they don't have money for large scale capital, so they go in the morning, buy 5 to 10 kgs of fish from the nearest local wholesale fish market, bring it to the city, move door to door. Within 1 or 2 hours, they sell all the fishes fresh, and they collect back the money which they have invested, and they take over their profit, and again the remaining investment, whatever was their capital, they again invest in the evening. Again they go for a second round at 4:30 in the evening, and then sell it before 6:37 in the night, and then go back. So this has become a viable source of employment generation for the individuals and ladies self-help groups in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, as a result of which the standard of living of these vendors who are moving around has increased. Similarly, these vehicles which we are seeing, this minivan, big lorries kind of thing, their cost range from 15 lakhs of rupees to 1 crore rupee. It depends on the quality of refrigeration and ice capacity of the vehicle. Some of these vehicles are refrigerated vehicles, some of these vehicles are packed with ice and used to transport, and these vehicles travel more than 2,500 kilometers per day for carrying fishes. Fishes from Nellore Fish Market and Visakhapatnam reach Calcutta Fish Market and remote area in Assam also through these vehicles. All these vehicles are subsidized. Some of these vehicles are subsidized by NFDP in the ratio of 40-60. If it is women, SC, ST beneficiaries, the subsidy is 60%. For open category beneficiaries, it is 40% from NFDP. Next. Women in fish market. Women are the, you won't believe, 75% of the marketing activity is done by the women folk in India. Up to bringing the cash to the show, it is the responsibility of men fishers who go into the sea or into the river, throw the net, prepare the net, throw it, collect it. But once they reach the landing center, either the port or the harbor or the fish landing center, the marketplace, thereafter, the women take over the sale of fish. And most of these women are poor fish vendors who don't have much capital to invest. So they walk several kilometers to reach the market. Once they buy fishes from these markets, they come back. While coming back, they are not allowed to board public transport because fish is a highly perishable commodity and it starts stinking the moment it is carried in significantly higher quantity. So these people have to carry loads of fishes on their head and walk for miles together to reach the vendors door to door and this. And 75% of fish marketing is done by these females who carry fish on their head and do door to door marketing. And their conditions are really very poor and very bad. And sometimes people who stay little far away from the coastal district, they have to stay outside for one whole week, finish the whole business, and only during weekends they come home to meet their family. Now, there is a new scheme called Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampradana Yojana. I'll just explain you. This PMMSY was recently started in 2020. This is next to the Blue Revolution scheme. The objectives of this Pradhan Mantri Matsya Yojana are, the fisheries sector development schemes are 300 crores have been allocated from 15-16 to 2020 for Blue Revolution. During 18-19 for FIDF, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Infrastructural Fund Development, 7,522 crores of fund was provided to provide concessional finance for fisheries and aquaculture infrastructure. During 2021, Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampradana Yojana was created with 250 crores investment for. So the main objectives of the scheme are to harnessing the fish potential in sustainable, what is sustainable, without causing loss to the environment and with long duration sustainability in consideration. sustainable, responsible, and inclusive growth is aimed at in the productivity and production. Production is production is overall production in a year. Productivity is per hectare usage, output or outcome from the land or water. So expansion and intensification and diversion production of land and water, modernization and strengthening of value chain. The post-harvest management system has to improve, as a result of which the quality of the fish product will increase, doubling of farmers' income, and enhancing the capacity of fishers. Estimated investment of 20,050 crores has been planned, and it is distributed in the following manner. Implementation schedule for 5 years from 2020 to 2025, 5-year plan it is. Total central outlay is 9,407 crores, out of which investment of 250 crores is in the initial stages. It's a centrally sponsored component. Its centrally sponsored component is 18,330 crores, and the central sector scheme, it is 1,720 crores allotted per year. The strategies for this Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampradana Yojana are brood bank and hatcheries networking has to be done, and they all should have been registered. Growth clusters and area-wise aqua park has to be developed, and species-wise aqua park also is required to be developed. Cultivation of fishers and fish farmers, all these fish FFPOs are to be formed into groups, and they have to be enlisted. Focus on fisheries development in islands, northeastern states, Himalayan states, union territories, and most of the aspirational districts come under this program. Strong institutional framework has to be created at the state level, district level, and sub-district level. For this, we have created Mera Matsyadan portal, which I will explain later. Convergence and other central and state schemes like housing yojana, insurance schemes are all converged with this program. Grouping of activities into integrated projects and end-to-end solutions, so that right from the brood stock, intending of seed, till the sale and even post-harvest management, all this is taken as a turnkey basis, and it is interlinked. Development of integrated coastal fishery villages and improving the livelihood and participatory approach, focus on fisheries exports, these are the main components. We'll go to the next one. See, the main objective of this, I'll play a small video which will explain the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampradana Yojana in more detail.
जैसे उत्पादकता कम है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो भी है उसका आधुनिकीकरण नहीं हो पाया है, मछली को पता लगाने की योग्यता कम है, टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल नहीं है, अभी भी परंपरागत तरीके से मछलियां पाली जाती हैं। इन सब कमियों को दूर करने के लिए, यानी भारत के मत्स्य की ढांचे में जो कमियां हैं, फिशरीज फ्रेमवर्क में जो कमियां हैं, उसके प्रबंधन के लिए, उसको सुदृढ़ बनाने के लिए मत्स्य संपदा योजना शुरू की गई। तो इसमें किन किन चीजों पर ध्यान दिया जाएगा? इसमें मछली पकड़ने के जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, जो आधारिक संरचना है, उसको मजबूत किया जाएगा, उत्पादकता बढ़ाई जाएगी, उत्पादन बढ़ाया जाएगा, यानी प्रोडक्शन भी बढ़ाया जाएगा और प्रोडक्टिविटी भी बढ़ाई जाएगी। गुणवत्ता नियंत्रण, जिसे बोलते हैं क्वालिटी कंट्रोल, पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, यानी पैदावार प्रबंध, इन सब चीजों पे फोकस किया जाएगा। देखिए, पूरी दुनिया में फिशरी सेक्टर जो है उसमें चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं। समुद्र में मछलियां कम हो रही हैं धीरे धीरे। जलवायु परिवर्तन इसका कारण है। ओवर फिशिंग, यानी बहुत ज्यादा दोहन करना, शोषण करना, हमारे जो समुद्री संसाधन है, हमारे जो ओशियन के रिसोर्सेज हैं, उनका दोहन करना, एक्सप्लॉइट करना। इस वजह से, ओवर फिशिंग की वजह से मछलियों की संख्या कम होती जा रही है। अब हम मछली पकड़ने के लिए हमारे मछुआरों को समुद्र के बहुत अंदर जाना पड़ता है, बहुत ज्यादा डीप ओशियन में जाना पड़ता है। तो ऐसे में हमें मछली पकड़ने की से पहले ये सोचना होगा कि मछली कहाँ है समुद्र, यानी मछली पता लगाने की योग्यता डेवलप करनी होगी। उसके लिए टेक्नोलॉजी चाहिए। आज भी हमारे मछुआरे परंपरागत और दकियानुसी जो पद्धति है उसको अपना रहे हैं। तो मत्स्य संपदा योजना में इन सब चीजों पे फोकस किया जाए। पहले बात करते हैं भारत में ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन। उससे आपको ये पता चल जाएगा कि ये सारी शुरुआत कहाँ से हुई। ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन या नीली क्रांति का काम ये था कि भारत में हम मछली उत्पादन को बढ़ाएं। मछली ही नहीं बल्कि जो सारे मैरीन प्रोडक्ट्स हैं उनको पैकेज करें ढंग से। तो इस सब का नाम दिया गया था ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन। ये जो 5वीं पंचवर्षीय योजना थी, जो सेवंथ 5 ईयर प्लान था, उसमें लॉन्च किया गया था 1985 से 1990 तक। और इस योजना के थ्रू, ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन के थ्रू, जो केंद्र सरकार है उसने फिश फार्मर्स डेवलपमेंट एजेंसी यानी FFDA को स्पॉन्सर करना स्टार्ट किया। इससे बहुत सारे परिवर्तन आए, हमारे काफी इंप्रूवमेंट हुआ हमारे एक्वाकल्चर में। हमने नई नई तकनीकें अपनानी शुरू करी 4 चीजों के लिए। फिश ब्रीडिंग यानी मछलियों का प्रजनन, फिश रियरिंग मछली पालन, फिश मार्केटिंग यानी मछली उत्पादों का विपणन, और फिश एक्सपोर्ट यानी निर्यात। और ये जो है फिशरीज, ये एग्रीकल्चर एलाइड एक्टिविटी में आता है। ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन के 3 ऑब्जेक्टिव थे: मैकेनिकल एंड टेक्निकल डेवलपमेंट, एनकरेजमेंट टू एक्वाकल्चर एंड फैसिलिटी ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव एंड मार्केटिंग। तो ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन ने क्या क्या अचीव किया? काफी अचीव किया। अगर आप देखें, फॉर एग्जांपल आंध्र प्रदेश और तमिलनाडु, इन्होंने श्रिम्प की खेती शुरू करी। श्रिम्प फार्मिंग बोलते हैं जिसे। आंध्र प्रदेश का जो नेल्लोर डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, आज हम उसे श्रिम्प कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया बोलते हैं। भारत में 1800 से ज्यादा प्रजातियां हैं मछली की जो पाई जाती हैं। ये समुद्र में भी पाई जाती हैं और इनलैंड वाटर ऑफ इंडिया में भी पाई जाती हैं, यानी नदियों में भी पाई जाती हैं। और इनमें से बहुत सारी ऐसी हैं जो व्यावसायिक तौर पर काफी महत्व रखती हैं। तो ये कुछ मछलियों के नाम है जो भारत में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, चाहे वो सैल्मन हो, ट्यूना हो, रोहू हो, ईल हो। बहुत सारी मछलियां हैं यहाँ पे। मछलियां ही नहीं बल्कि जो केकड़े हैं, प्रॉन हैं, ये सब भी काफी खाए जाते हैं। आप जानते हैं भारत के 13 ऐसे राज्य हैं जो तट से लगते हैं। 13 स्टेट्स एंड यूनियन टेरिटरीज हैं जो कोस्टल हैं। तो उनमें डेफिनेटली ये ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है और वहां से फिर पूरे इंडिया में इनका ये ट्रांसपोर्ट होता है। जो 8वां 5 ईयर प्लान था 1992 से 1997 तक, उसमें इंटेंसिव मैरीन फिशरीज प्रोग्राम को लॉन्च किया गया। इसमें बहुत सारी प्राइवेट कंपनियों ने भी पार्टिसिपेट किया। जब इन्वेस्टमेंट आती है किसी सेक्टर के अंदर तो वो ग्रो करता है। तो यही पर्पस था इसका कि जो मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी है उनके साथ कोलैबोरेट किया जाए। इसके तहत भारत में कई सारे फिशिंग हार्बर बनाए गए। बहुत सारे फिशिंग हार्बर बनाए गए, जैसे कि ट्यूटिकोरिन पोरबंदर गुजरात में, होनावर विशाखापट्टनम आंध्रा में, धमार, कोची, कांडला, ये सब बनाए गए फिशिंग हार्बर इंटेंसिव मैरीन फिशरीज प्रोग्राम के तहत। इसके अलावा भारत में बहुत सारे रिसर्च सेंटर भी बनाए गए मछलियों के लिए, जिससे हम ना सिर्फ मछलियों का प्रोडक्शन बल्कि मछलियों की क्वालिटी और क्वांटिटी दोनों इंप्रूव करें। जैसे कि फ्रेश वाटर मछलियों के लिए बनाया गया बैरकपुर कोलकाता में, मैरीन फिश के लिए बनाया गया मेंडापम तमिलनाडु और मुंबई में, सेंट्रल फिश रिसर्च सेंटर बना मुंबई में, और सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फिशरीज एंड नॉटिकल इंजीनियरिंग बना कोची में। तो अगर कोई पूछे आपसे कि ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन का टारगेट क्या है और अभी का टारगेट क्या है, ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन का जो सरकार ने टारगेट ये रखा है कि हमें 15 मिलियन टन मछली उत्पादन करना है 2020 तक। ठीक है, मछली उत्पादन हमारा 15 मिलियन यानी 1.5 करोड़ टन होना चाहिए 2020 तक। ये ब्लू रेवोल्यूशन के अंतर्गत किया जाएगा और बाद में यानी 2022-23 तक हमें इसको बढ़ा के 2 करोड़ टन यानी 20 मिलियन टन करना। तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टारगेट है जो आपको अपने आंसर में मेंशन करना। अगर अभी हम देखें भारत में मत्स्य पालन का क्या सिनारियो है, भारत में लगभग 1.5 करोड़ मछुआरे हैं, 14 मिलियन फिशरमैन हैं और बहुत बड़ी वैल्यू चेन है फिशरीज की। हर तरह की मछलियां भारत में पाई जाती हैं, चाहे वो समुद्री मछली हो या वो मीठे पानी की मछलियां हो या वो सॉल्ट वाटर मछलियां हो। इसके अलावा पूरी दुनिया में मछलियों की जितनी भी विविधता है यानी बायोडाइवर्सिटी है, जैविक विविधता 10% इंडिया में। ठीक है, यानी भारत काफी ज्यादा डाइवर्सिटी रिच है। जैसा मैंने बताया लगभग 1800 अलग अलग तरह की मछलियां भारत में पाई जाती हैं। अभी अभी जो हमारा मंत्रालय है कृषि मंत्रालय, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर फिशरीज डेयरिंग ये सब साथ ही है,
और करना
कमियां है सॉल्ट वाटर मछलियां। इसके अलावा 6.3% भारत दुनिया प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाने की ये है ट्यूना फिश। तो ये काफी न्यूज में थी। इंडियन ओशियन ट्यूना कमीशन की 23वीं बैठक हैदराबाद में हुई थी। वहां पे ये डिसाइड किया गया कि भारत को जो ट्यूना फिशिंग है वो बढ़ाने की जरूरत है। इसके लिए जो भारत के एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन है, यानी भारत के आसपास जो समुद्र हैं, चाहे वो अरब सागर हो, चाहे बंगाल की खाड़ी हो, या चाहे हिंद महासागर हो, उसमें कुछ ऐसे एरिया हैं जहाँ पे भारत को एक्सक्लूसिव परमिशन है फिशिंग की, तो उनमें फिशिंग की जाए ट्यूना की। आपको बता दूं, यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने यह भी डिक्लेयर करा है कि 2 मई हर साल को वर्ल्ड ट्यूना डे मनाया जाएगा। भारत का जो एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन है वो अंडमान निकोबार लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड्स के आसपास है, और ये 30% है अंडमान निकोबार और लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड के आसपास। लेकिन हम सिर्फ 1% ट्यूना फिश का प्रोडक्शन कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं इस एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन से। तो यानी कि हमारे पास बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है जो हम मिस कर रहे हैं। जो ट्यूना मार्केट है वो $11 बिलियन की है ग्लोबल लेवल पे, और ये बढ़ के 13.75 बिलियन हो जाएगी 2023 तक। तो ट्यूना मार्केट बहुत ज्यादा ग्रो कर रही है, तो इंडिया को भी अपनी जो पोटेंशियल है वो पूरी करनी होगी। भारत की बहुत लंबी कोस्ट लाइन है, 13 राज्य हैं, गुजरात से लेकर वेस्ट बंगाल तक हमारी कोस्ट लाइन है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद हम ट्यूना की जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है उसको टैप नहीं कर पा रहे। इनफैक्ट ट्यूना मछली का उत्पादन बढ़ाने के लिए इंडियन ओशियन ट्यूना कमीशन भी एक संस्था है जिसका हेडक्वार्टर है सेशल्स। इसका काम यह है कि हम किस तरह से इंडियन ओशियन के अंदर ट्यूना को बढ़ा सकते हैं, ट्यूना का उत्पादन बढ़ा सकते हैं। इसको बोलते हैं इंडियन ओशियन ट्यूना कमीशन। अब बात करते हैं सजावटी मछलियों की, यानी ऑर्नामेंटल फिशिंग। सजावटी मछलियां जो है इसकी भी पोटेंशियल भारत में बहुत ज्यादा है, लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी की कमी के कारण ये मार्केट ग्रो नहीं कर पाई। तो ऑर्नामेंटल फिश इंडस्ट्री को डेवलप करने के लिए, ठीक है, भारत ने एक प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्च किया था जिसका नाम है इंडिया नेटवर्क प्रोजेक्ट ऑन ऑर्नामेंटल फिश ब्रीडिंग एंड कल्चर। ये जुलाई 2018 में लॉन्च किया गया था। इसके तहत 7 फिशरीज रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट भी इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च और सेंट्रल मैरीन फिशरीज रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट के तहत बनाए गए थे ऑर्नामेंटल फिशिंग को बढ़ाने के लिए। ये जो सेंट्रल मैरीन फिशरीज रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट है ये कोची में है, केरल में। तो ये इंस्टीट्यूट कौन कौन से हैं 7, इनके नाम आपको याद नहीं करने, बस आपको ये याद करना है कि जो हमने प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किया था इंडिया नेटवर्क प्रोजेक्ट, उसके तहत बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट हमने बनाए थे, 7 इंस्टीट्यूट बनाए थे, और ये ICAR और CMFRI यानी सेंट्रल मैरीन फिशरीज रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट के तहत बनाए गए थे। इनमें जॉइंट रिसर्च इनिशिएटिव भी हमने शुरू किया था जिसका काम ये था कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी को लेकर आए फिश ब्रीडिंग में, सीड प्रोडक्शन, हम फ्रेश वाटर और मैरीन दोनों तरह की सजावटी मछलियों का उत्पादन बढ़ाएं, क्योंकि सजावटी मछलियां फ्रेश वाटर में भी पाई जाती हैं और समुद्री पानी में भी पाई जाती हैं, और हम इस इंडस्ट्री को सस्टेनेबल बनाएं। तो भारत में मैरीन ऑर्नामेंटल फिश कहाँ पाई जाती है? मैरीन मतलब समुद्री यानी नमकीन पानी। ये पाई जाती है अंडमान निकोबार, लक्षद्वीप, गल्फ ऑफ मन्नार और गल्फ ऑफ कच्छ। और अगर फ्रेश वाटर की बात करूं तो फ्रेश वाटर ऑर्नामेंटल फिश पाई जाती है वेस्टर्न घाट्स और नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया की रिवर्स के अंदर। गवर्नमेंट ने ये कहा है कि जो ऑर्नामेंटल मछलियां हैं ये एक थर्स्ट एरिया है फॉर डेवलपिंग एक्सपोर्ट्स, यानी भारत जो है अभी बहुत कम एक्सपोर्ट करता है ऑर्नामेंटल फिश, तो इसमें जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है बहुत ज्यादा है, यानी फिशरी सेक्टर को ग्रो करने के लिए ऑर्नामेंटल फिशिंग एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है। तो ऑर्नामेंटल फिशिंग के लिए और क्या किया गया है? भारत ने पहला टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क बनाया ऑर्नामेंटल फिशेस के लिए, जिसका नाम है एक्वाटिक रेनबो टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क। ये चेन्नई में खुला है। यहाँ पे एक्सक्लूसिवली ऑर्नामेंटल फिशेस के ऊपर उनकी हैचरी लगाई गई है और उनकी ब्रीडिंग और रियरिंग पे काम किया जाता है। इस फैसिलिटी को फिशरीज कॉलेज और रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट तमिलनाडु उसके अंतर्गत ही आती है, और याद रखिए तमिलनाडु वेस्ट बंगाल के बाद दूसरा सबसे बड़ा एक्सपोर्टर है ऑर्नामेंटल फिशेस का इंडिया में। पहले नंबर पे है वेस्ट बंगाल, दूसरे नंबर पे है तमिलनाडु। एक और
Now we will come to the web application designed for monitoring the Blue Revolution scheme. This web application is called Mera Matsyadan. This can be downloaded on your mobile also. It can be a mobile-based application, or it can be used on your PC. The main aim of this web-based application is to monitor the implementation of the Blue Revolution scheme. नीली क्रांति स्कीम का फिजिकल एंड फाइनेंशियल टारगेट्स को मॉनिटर करने के लिए they have created a web portal, and it has information interface with the public like beneficiaries, district level officers, state level officers, NFDP officers, and ministries office. In addition to public interface, it also has enlisted the hatcheries, hatchery owners. That is, hatcheries are used for providing good quality seed to the fish farmers. So the final productivity is decided based on the quality of seed which is accessible to the farmer. So the main aim of NFDB in the last 2-3 years was to accredit all these hatcheries and bring them under one umbrella, at least to make an effort to enlist all the hatcheries available in the country. In addition, it's not enough if we have hatcheries list only. We also need to have feed mills information, because in culture fisheries particularly, feed mills, as a location of feed mills decides the profitability of the project, viability and success of the project. Because if they travel long distance for feed, the final output cost increases, and that becomes very unviable for the culture farmers to sell, because the selling price increases with the increasing cost of feed. So availability of feed mills closer to the production center is a very important factor. Hence, this particular web app will give all the available feed mills located in a particular center, so that the capture fisheries cultivators can have make use of this information. There, recently NFDB has started one more program called Aqua1 centers. These Aqua1 centers are nothing but entrepreneurship diagnostic centers. The fisheries experts are available in these Aqua1 centers, and they go out and reach the fish farmers in their locality, in their district, and they collect information of the requirement of seed for the current year, the availability of feed. They advise these people for how much weight of fish, how much feed has to be given. They give a chart, feeding chart, based on which specifies the amount of feed to be given based on the weight of the fish. They also provide diagnostic facilities. The water quality is checked. If the fish or prawns develop some disease, these experts, fishery experts in this Aquaman center, go and provide technological support for overcoming these diseases. In addition, the water resource available in that area is geotagged and managed in a real-time manner. All this information is available on our Matsyadan web portal. It also links the nearby fisheries institutions and other agencies which can give any moral or material or informational support to these fish farmers. In addition, the web portal provides a grievance redressal mechanism. At the time of enrollment, every beneficiary gets they enroll with a user ID and password, which is for one time verified in the beginning. Once they enroll, later on they get information on all the government schemes available for them. They can download the applications, and if there is any problem in them faced by them in accessing the government resources, then they can actually lodge a complaint and get their grievance redressed on this mobile web-based application system. Like this is the phase 1 of the Mere Matsadan. In the second phase, Mere Matsadan will provide market link information or static information. To begin with, we are trying to provide static information, but gradually over the next 5 years or 10 years, we will get dynamic information on the cost of fish products in every market, major market, minor market. We have classified markets into several categories like major fish market, minor fish market, landing centers, wholesale market. And we have given tabs to the designated representatives in these markets. This market information system will link the buyer with the seller. Any buyer who needs fishes in large quantity or small quantity, he can access the website and he can get the details of the availability of the fishes in these websites. And he can get information on the easiest mode of transport, how long it will take to transport the fish from this place to wherever he is. And on real-time basis, he will also know about the reasonable cost of transport, so he can make a wise decision on buying and selling of fish. Again, for in this e-marketplace software, the fish sellers can also post a picture of the fish they are having, the name of the fish, the quantity available with them, and they can also indicate the prices which they want to sell. This market information system and e-market is just a platform where the buyer is linked to the seller. Government will never decide the price of the fish in any fish marketing system. The price of the fish will be decided by the market forces. We will only link the buyer and the seller. We will tell the seller that your product can be sold on this platform, and the buyer who is in need of large quantity fish can always access this platform and get information and get in touch with the mobile number and the address. All details will be available of the vendors on the website, so the buyers can contact the vendors and then make their own transactions. This is the mobile app where the beneficiary first log in. Thereafter, the DFO, District Forest Officer, verifies the credentials of the beneficiary and then provide an user ID and password. Thereafter, the beneficiary's pond or their infrastructure, which has been financed by the government, is geotagged and the photo of that is uploaded, so that there is no scope for any mismanagement of fund at the beneficiary level. Scheme, under every scheme, the funds are released in staggered manner. After the release of first installment, only after certain conditions are met, second installment will be released. So these photos and geotagging will help us identify whether the first installment has been productively used by the farmer, and it can be used for the release of second installment. And this information on the Blue Revolution schemes, what are the schemes available for individual beneficiaries, this will be available on this mobile app. And the details of feed mills and hatcheries available in the reasonable neighborhood of the beneficiary will also be available in this mobile app. And disease management, Aqua centers location, the contact details of the persons sitting in Aqua center will also be provided in this mobile app. Other than that, this geotagging of the assets will help us in the long run in managing the asset created with the government's support through this Blue Revolution scheme. And market information system will link the user with the seller with the buyer, and they will also give on real-time basis the cost of fishes sold in a particular market on a particular day at one point of time. It cannot be dynamic. Cost ranges from throughout the day. Towards the fag end of the day, when the market is supposed to be closed, the prices will be throwaway cheap. But we cannot continuously monitor the dynamic prices in a market. But to begin with, at least the static price of any market at 12 noon on a particular day will be provided in this mobile app. And there is a helpline where people can call NFDB and find out. And I have operated this helpline for quite some time. Most of the call will be what kind of species will suit my climate, what kind of fish can I grow, where can I get seeds, where can I get a diagnostic facility, what testing ke liye, where is the nearest available centers. These are the questions generally asked by people, and that is always replied by this NFDB officials. They are all technically qualified people who will give answers to all these questions. This e-market I have already explained. It registers the name, mobile number, Aadhaar number, email, and location, and then the product can be uploaded on this e-market with the description of the photo of the catch and the price at which the seller wants to sell. And the product, the buyer can also have access to these information. And pricing information I told on 12 noon on the major markets. On busy days, we collect the information and then upload it on the web portal. And e-auctioning is the last stage. It will take long time to reach this stage because we need several infrastructures and dynamic pricing to be captured for e-auctioning, which will take quite some time. So these are the web portal Mera Matsudan monitors the flow of funds from the ministry. Ministry issues a sanction order. The sanction order simultaneously goes to the state and to the NFDP officials. From the state, the funds are released to the district. From district, it is released to the individual beneficiaries, and backwards. After the implementation, the beneficiary uploads the photos and the status. Upload the status and the photo of his usage, and this utilization certificate or status of the project is sent to the district forest official in the mobile app. And from the district forest fisheries official, it goes to the state fisheries department. All the district information is compiled in the state fisheries department and it is sent to the ministry, so that at any point of time ministry can physically and financially monitor the progress of implementation of the scheme in the current year. This is the flow, workflow. From the district, the project is every year the ministry and NFDB ask for project proposals, annual plan, fisheries plan from the individual districts. The district officials formulate their annual fisheries plan and targets and provide it to the state fisheries department. From the state fisheries department, it goes to the NFDB. NFDB does not reject or accept any proposal. It will only give technical support. It can scrutinize the proposals and suggest whether it is technically viable or not, and if there is any technical support required or any improvement to the project proposal, that will be guided by the NFDB officials. And once the project is finalized and it is technically viable, then it is sent to the Ministry of Fisheries for sending it across, and the Ministry of Fisheries scrutinizes the proposals, allots fund. The fund is allotted to a sanction order is released to NFDB and the state fisheries directly. The state fisheries then allot the funds under among its district, and the district again allots it among its beneficiaries, because here they have already planned in their annual plan, they have projected how many beneficiaries and what for what purpose they need this fund. So this fund will be provided to those beneficiaries for that purpose only. Later, this beneficiary implements the scheme. The district officials collect the status of implementation of the project, and then they send it to the send the utilization certificate to the state, and the state again compiles the utilization for the certificate for the whole year's release and send it to NFDB. NFDB in turn scrutinizes the viability of the project, and if if there is any second or third installment to be released, they recommend the same and send it to the ministry, and ministry finally release the second or third installment or closes the project based on the UC receipt. This is the flow. From beneficiary, it goes to the district. From district, it goes to the state. States to NFDB. This is the mobile app flow. And the DFO can always reject any proposal or seek for any improvement or check the availability of land and the viability of the project, and he'll move the project to and fro. So I have a small video on voluntary guidelines for securing sustainable small fisheries.
Over 50% of the fish catch in developing countries comes from small-scale fisheries. This provides food and nutrition to millions across the world. These fisheries, in turn, employ 90% of capture fishers. So, unlike the name suggests, small-scale fisheries actually contribute a lot to all our lives, and this contribution needs protecting.
In 2014, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations endorsed a set of guidelines to protect and enhance small-scale fisheries around the world. These guidelines highlight the need to secure tenure rights to natural resources for small-scale fishing communities. Tenure systems determine how individuals and communities gain access to land, fisheries, and forests. These systems also define what these resources might be used for how long, and under what conditions, governing how all stakeholders can come together to manage them.
So, why are tenure rights important? Well, for one thing, securing these rights is key to the development of small-scale fishing communities. Sadly, states often consider the seas and water bodies to be no man's land, controlled by governments, which means local fishing communities often have no legal right to them. These rights are also vital for women. Their roles are closely linked to their community's rights over the lands they inhabit and the waters they fish in. Indigenous people are also affected. Many still hold on to their traditional tenure practices, but their rights are often not recognized or respected. Industrial fisheries and investments can threaten the livelihoods and resources of small-scale fishing communities. Add to this the growing demographic pressure and the effects of climate change, and the responsible governance of tenure becomes even more urgent.
That's where the small-scale fisheries guidelines, guided by a human rights-based approach, can help by defining the role of all the stakeholders in advancing tenure rights. For example, states should not remove or relocate small-scale fishing communities from their habitats without reason. This in turn ensures that these communities continue to manage and conserve their resources like they have for generations. The states must identify and protect all legitimate rights holders, particularly women and indigenous groups. To ensure equitable access to resources, states should reserve fishing zones for small-scale fishing communities.
And with a view on the future, states must empower these communities to effectively exercise their tenure rights. Whenever states enter into fishing agreements with foreign fishing fleets, the interests of small-scale fisheries must be protected. Communities displaced by natural or man-made calamities should be supported in restoring their lives and livelihoods. Also, small-scale fishing communities should have access to impartial administrative and judicial bodies to resolve any disputes or conflicts, big or small.
Secure tenure rights create incentives for users to conserve and sustainably manage the resources they depend on. As a part of this commitment, small-scale fishing communities should be consulted and encouraged to actively participate in the management of their fisheries. This would allow them to prevent all forms of destructive fishing practices by monitoring their fisheries and ecosystems.
On the whole, secure tenure rights go a long way in improving the well-being and livelihood of these communities. With the SSF guidelines as our North Star, we can work together towards a sustainable and equitable future for these communities and the planet.
Across the world, 1 in every 10 people is hungry and undernourished. Yet somehow, more fish is consumed today than ever before. And in developing countries, 50% of this fish comes from small-scale fisheries. Although these fisheries have a relatively low impact on the environment, their contribution to global food security is significant. But climate change is changing all of that.
In 2014, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations endorsed a set of guidelines to protect and enhance the impact of small-scale fisheries around the world. These guidelines define the role of states, communities, and others in combating climate change and its effects on small-scale fisheries. More often than not, poor and marginalized communities are affected the worst. They are more at risk from natural disasters and other climate change impacts. Man-made disasters also pose a serious threat. Pollution, plastics, and industrial waste are destroying aquatic ecosystems at a faster rate than ever before.
All this adversely affects the health, safety, working conditions, and human rights of fishing communities. Inadequate funding and poor risk management can endanger these communities and make them less resilient to adverse changes in the environment. The effects of climate change are felt all along the fisheries value chain, from the way fishing is done to the livelihoods of the communities to the safety and nutrition of our food.
States, fishing communities, and other stakeholders must work together to mitigate disaster risks and combat climate change. This approach must be holistic and account for the fact that disasters and climate change impact poor and marginalized communities differently. For example, fishing communities should be consulted when designing adaptation and mitigation strategies. For vulnerable groups, including women, indigenous people, and small island communities,
particular attention should be paid to building resilience within them. Issues such as pollution, coastal erosion, and the destruction of coastal habitats also need to be urgently addressed. In the case of man-made disasters, the responsible parties should be held accountable.
% of the fish catch in developing countries comes from small-scale fisheries, which makes them important to both food security and the economy.
Millions of people are employed all along the fisheries value chain, on-board fishing vessels, cleaning and processing the catch, and marketing, export, and sale. Thus, seafood is both valuable to global trade and a lifeline for local communities.
In 2014, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations endorsed a set of guidelines to protect and enhance the impact of small-scale fisheries around the world. One of its main objectives is the sustainable development of small-scale fishing communities.
First, this requires a recognition of the unequal power relationships along the value chain. For example, women play a crucial role in fisheries post-harvest activities, but several factors undermine their participation.
To address this, the guidelines recommend that the appropriate amenities be provided to ensure their occupational safety and well-being. A lack of capital, knowledge, and infrastructure often prevents small-scale fishing communities from earning their fair share from the seafood trade. The guidelines recognize that building capacities can improve access, enhance livelihoods, and ensure the safety of our food.
The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals envision small-scale fishing communities gaining access to marine resources and markets. Associations and cooperatives can give voice to fishers' and fish workers' interests in decision-making. Keeping this in mind, traditional forms of association should be recognized, promoted, and modernized.
States should also promote trade in small-scale fisheries products by introducing beneficial taxes and tariffs and simplifying paperwork, inspection, and other norms. The guidelines also recognize that unregulated fish exports can deepen inequality, threaten food security, and deplete fish stocks. Sound policy and better fisheries management can help avoid such market-driven overfishing.
Sustainable practices all along the value chain can help avoid losses and waste by combining traditional, cost-efficient methods with innovation and new technology. For example, value addition can be promoted to improve livelihoods and prevent overfishing.
Timely information and fair certification standards can fetch higher prices and help small-scale fisheries adapt to changes in global and local markets. By empowering each actor in the small-scale fisheries value chain, we can ensure that the benefits from seafood trade are shared with the poor and vulnerable communities, thus safeguarding their rights and the sustainability of our fisheries.
Thank you very much, dear friends, for giving me an opportunity. I hope I covered most of the information related to NFDB and fish marketing and even Blue Revolution and Prime Minister's Matsya Sampada.
Thank you, ma'am. Really informative presentations. We have picked up some of the questions from the chat box, both of you and Ganesh Kumar sir. Hopefully Ganesh Kumar sir is online. Ganesh Kumar sir, are you listening my voice? Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing. Hearing.
Okay, ma'am.
I am hearing.
Okay, sir. The questions for the Ganesh Kumar sir, that sir, when after COVID-19, when the maximum levels are going for the backward migration, that there may be a chances that we face the diseconomy of scale and the disguised unemployment. And another side, we are highlighting the startup, means newcomers due to the getting the opportunity, startups come and to encash the market. But the unfortunately in the startup is that somehow it is not been sustainable. It has been observed that in agriculture sectors, the startup is the lifespan of the startup is very lesser one. Then in long run, how is see the things normalized whether the migrant laborers who go to their home, they again come back to their own land, or will be very much speculative that the startup will be sustainable in the coming days? Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. In fact, there are two issues. One is the laborers who have back migrated to their native states. There are many guests actually. There are a lot of expectation, and there are two different school of thought. But in fact, one such study recently by an NGO based in Orissa. I'm not getting that exact name.
Right.
I think they work specific. They are working on labor in general, but right now they have predicted that out of all the people who have migrated back to Orissa, 35%, they said that they are interested to here in a span of 3 months to 1 year, starting from construction sector to the small scale industries to the agriculture sector, including all the farm operations, which of course includes fisheries also. So there are hope that after 3 months, slowly people will come back to the original place of work, because there is a huge challenge for the native state of all these laborers.
Right.
They may not be able to create a suitable employment for them also. So we have to wait and really see, and we hope that definitely, in my case also, what I feel, definitely 50% people will come back to the state where fisheries operations are going on. Because if you see the wage rate, I am seeing from the other sources also, that I think they get a daily wage rate of 200 rupees only in the state of Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, even West Bengal. Whereas they are getting around 600 rupees, 500 to 600 rupees for their daily routine. Even Telangana, they will come back sooner than later. I think that will take care of the resumption of all these activities. This is one part.
Right.
With respect to the startup activity,
Right, sir.
yes, I agree. Startup takes, little bit more of incubation time to get into a original entrepreneurial unit. In fact, in the normal circumstances also, for example, I am telling our own technology business incubator in NAM.
Right.
So far, we have supported more than 60 innovators in the last 5 years, I would say.
Right, sir.
Out of which 4 or 5 only, they have in fact graduated. Graduated means they have gone out of our incubation center,
Right,
and
sir.
they have started on their own. They no longer require our support in bringing all those finance people, in bringing all those technology people. So that's where we have incubated. Out of 60, 5 have established on their own.
Right.
But now what I feel, in the emergent situation of COVID and being a food sector, because these 60 incubators for which NAM is providing support, they span across all these kind of sector. It could be input sector, in plant protection, in value-added products, in the other crop-based commodities, even the weather forecast solutions, artificial intelligence-based the pest disease and surveillance providers.
Right.
There are few people who are providing farm machinery on custom hire basis. All those things they were making. Mostly, they are all mobile-based apps.
Right.
And some are the startup who are handling the physical products in terms of inputs as well as outputs. But now what I anticipate in the COVID scenario, post-COVID scenario, especially with respect to fishery sector,
Right, sir.
many the food products based online platforms are going to come. And that's where we are telling we want to encourage, and we should be open, and if possible, we should be very, very open in supporting them in the beginning. Because why I tell, we all see in the market that people are hesitant to go to the market. In general, vegetable market,
Right.
meat market, Fishery market is extreme. People are hesitant to visit fishery market at this moment. Though there is a demand, people are hesitant to go because of the food safety concern and because of so many other restrictions. So I anticipate lot many opportunity in the already existing the online platforms, and a few more people are also going to come, because the situation may persist for more than a year or maybe even 2 years, and by the time we may be acclimatized to the new situation, new normal, we are saying, no, including fishery sector, it is going to happen. We want fish. For example, as a consumer, I want fish, but it is not available. I have access, I have money, but then I have affordability, I have money, but it is not available and I am not able to access. That's why I am anticipating we have to make the fish accessible to the people. So more and more of mobile units have to be supported. I think I am also making this request to the National Fisheries Development Board officials also, that this is going to be a feature, and we should be promoting more and more. Already they are promoting a lot of mobile units, but many more are going to come, and we should be very open. See, unless otherwise fish is being made available in the neighborhood, in every street corner, for example, the sector will not see a big jump. But I think there is a huge scope, and many entrepreneurs are going to jump into this business. See, in the last 2-3 years, starting from Licious, now tender cuts, first to home, so many people are coming, and many are ready to offer this product in online platform. See, Geo is having a big plan.
Great, sir.
Who knows? Who knows? We have a bright future. I am optimistic. So this is my.
We also, sir, optimistic in this direction, sir.
Yes.
Ma'am, you have highlighted, rightly highlighted that the sustainability of the fish. And in second part, somehow you have highlighted the overfishing. And somehow we are promoting or motivating the stakeholders to different type of the arts and subsidies or incentives. Ma'am, question to you that when you are giving the subsidy, then automatically we cannot check overfishing, because it's a natural resource. Anyone can enter and catch the fish and sell the market, or if it will not sell the market, again we throw to the water. One of the video you have highlighted that the fish has been again thrown back to the water. Then if this is the things, then there may be a chances that the predatory technology will come, and this is the thing, then automatically we cannot check the dumping, because that's the cause we are moving more towards the sea source nowadays to get our fish. And second questions, ma'am, to you, that you have highlighted that in the southern part SAG is doing well, but numbers of areas it has been observed the cooperatives are not functioning, though it has been started once upon a time, but it's not functioning in the same pattern. How we change our structure to make the things sustainable?
Number one question, this dumping of fish back into the sea, that is very old practice. Nowadays, we have solar fish drying equipment.
Right.
The smallest one, which can dry up to 5 kgs of fish, is available at 8,000 rupees.
Right.
That is the Tidal Wave Technology is the organization which has innovated this kind of technology. So whatever is the leftover fish, it can be dried using that solar drying technology, and it can be sold as dry fish in the market later. So the concept of throwing away in desperation needs to be changed, and for this technology should be widely propagated.
Right.
People should be aware that there is an equipment. It's not even a high-edge equipment. It's just a solar receptor shed with racks inside, and it is available in a wide range of size, right from 5 kgs to 50 tons. The solar drying equipments are available, and the cost range from 8,000 to 80 lakhs.
Okay.
So people should be able to have access. Like this equipment need not be individually held. Like every fisherman need not have one solar fish drying machine. All they can do is they can form a cooperative. A group of 5-6 fishermen, women can form a self-help group and take this subsidy from NFTB at 60-40. And then in case of women self-help group, it is 60% will be subsidy and 40% will be the contribution from.
Right.
So they can have a collective cooperative units and use this fish drying unit. And moreover, this fish market you're talking about, this thing, See, recently we have come up with a technology where the fish waste can be converted into manures.
Right. Right.
There are bins developed by various organizations in the country,
Right.
which can convert the fish waste into fertilizer. You have to throw all the waste layer by layer, alternated by one layer of fish waste with one layer of the sawdust powder, and there is some enzyme which
Right.
has to be mixed to the sawdust powder. And if this fish waste is thrown into the bins and layered with that enzyme, then after 45 days, we get black gold, the quality of the fertilizer. This is called fishilizer,
Right.
which is developed from that. That will give the best manure India can ever produce. And there
Okay,
is
ma'am.
high demand for these manures in countries like South.
Right.
So all we have to do on a pilot basis, we have developed 5 markets in Telangana, wholesale fish markets, where we have trained these ladies. We have free of cost distributed 50 fish well conversion bins. And we have trained these ladies. This is just half an hour training. You have
Right.
to teach them how to layer the fish waste and then how to mix it and what quantity of the dry powder, enzyme powder has to be added.
Right.
Only this kind of training, with this simple training and a small bin, which is mobile, she can take home with her once she completes her marketing. This kind of mobile converters we have introduced on a pilot basis in 5 fish markets in Telangana. If this is successful, a study is going on. If this is successful, and this has 2 advantages. One, the fish vendor, the fish cutter.
Right.
Actually, no, the fish vendors don't cut fish. You must have observed in all fish markets. The
Right.
vendors just sell the fish and then be done with it. There are a separate group of ladies. They are only ladies, exclusive ladies, who will cut the fish. And fish, 60% of the fish is edible and 40% of it goes as a waste. So
Okay.
equal quantity is wasted in the process of cleaning and cutting. So
Right,
the
ma'am.
gut matter, the fin, the skin, and the head and tail contributes 40%. And each and every part of the waste is recyclable and saleable and revenue generatable part. The skin of the fish, the scales can be used for used by the pharmaceutical industries. If these ladies are trained to segregate the waste, the fin separate, head separate, gut matter. The gut matter can be easily composed as fertilizers. The head, and if they are trained in segregation, they will generate for 1 kg cutting fish of 1 kg, they get 30 rupees revenue. If this waste is properly utilized, they will get 50 rupees out of the waste generated from 1 kg fish if they are
True, ma'am.
trained properly to use it. So
Right,
now
ma'am.
NFPB or any organization for that matter should concentrate on this kind of trainings.
Right, ma'am. Only one question, sir, I get for the Ganesh Kumar, sir. As a consumer, how you will be very much cautious that whatever that has been delivered, it is a quality based one, because we have a very messy structure of the marketing. Just open auction, we sell the fish, then and the fish skin is very sensitive to the microbial the things, bacterial infiltrations or the microbiological things. Then how I, as a consumer, I know that it's the good food that I consume. Ganesh Kumar, sir.
No, it's a question of availability of the cold chain in our country.
Right.
That's what.
Right.
If I think the usage of ice has increased over a period of time. I think if you look at the fish marketing system and the quantum of ice being used in the whole marketing
Right.
process, starting from the auctions markets, the usage of ice has increased tremendously in the last 15 years, at least with as far as I know, from my knowledge, I think that's where we are making a fast progress in maintaining the quality.
Okay.
Developing cold storage and processing units were thought of main support mechanism in promoting the fish. But now you see, we have gone down to the nitty-gritty of the fish marketing process.
Okay.
There are schemes in establishing ice factories also. Ice factories. We may not require a big cold storage facility. We may require lot many number of small ice factories. I think if that thing happens on a very large scale across country,
okay,
I think the consumers will gain confidence. Consumer will gain confidence. That is why even the mobile vending, mobile vending units are gaining popularity now because it is now a cost unit now. See, in a mobile unit, there is a weighing system and there is also a generator and all those facilities. So with this concept only, we are taking the fish, maintaining the quality from the seashore to the neighborhood, to the street corner.
Thank you, sir.
So if consumers see more and more of such quality, yeah.
Can I leave the meeting?
Yes, madam.
I have another one. And thank you very much. It was
Thank you,
very interactive. And
we already 20 minutes ahead of our scheduled time. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir, for your valuable input. Particularly listening about the market is likely to be a very good opportunity for us, and definitely we will be in connect in the future for better understanding when the project will be going on. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Sorry for disrupting you.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.